One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossovers.
Double crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve.
All right, time for the crossover. John and Josh are here. Hello.
What up?
Is there a reason why our friend Mr. Poop Emoji is?
I don't know. I like him though. I put him up to the camera every time Josh has a bad take.
Josh has never had a bad take.
Never.
Hello.
100% accuracy.
Yeah, I don't know why he appeared in here. Seems
So I'm
like
assuming Gary put it there,
that's a fair assumption.
or one of the boys did last night.
I would say Gary or Damon.
Because it wasn't here yet. It wasn't here this morning or yesterday.
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing necessarily. I don't know if it's an omen.
Maybe the person who put it there doesn't remember that they put it there. As Scott Frost doesn't remember saying what he said after the game.
Oh dear God.
It's like an off-brand one too. It doesn't even look like the emoji. They just did the poo and then they
Does
put
anybody
a
want to
happy
take
face on it.
responsibility
It's
for
an
this poop?
off-brand emoji poo.
Someone take responsibility for the poop.
Well, it's either the morning show or after hours, right?
It's not that big a deal. I'm good with
I
it.
mean, I have many questions.
Oh, I enjoy it. Like I said, we can use it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can sit here and
We need a new studio mascot, right?
we could just break down poop emoji all day
Sounds good to me.
because it's either that or move on to North Dakota.
Oh no.
Yeah, somebody told us that. Can you guys move on? Can you move on?
MoveOn.org.
Move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
move on.
And talk about the Fighting Hawks.
Think
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Think so.
Move on to North Dakota.
Well, what do we know? What do we know about what do we
Nothing.
know?
I've
about
done no prep yet.
I haven't either.
That's tomorrow.
All I know is
Nick,
Stuart
can you turn my
Mandel
mic up a
thinks the
little bit?
world of them.
Thank you, Nick.
Apparently, they like to run the ball.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
They lost a lot of close games last year.
Yes.
I thought that was actually good.
His delivery just needs a little work. That's the issue.
Well,
the
no, I thought-
deadpan
the
was
deadpan-
really good.
I thought the deadpan was good.
Yes.
It just didn't get the laugh line.
Yeah.
Now, if we
'Cause the
juiced it up,
delivery.
if we juiced it up, if we had a little laugh track to it, if this were a
Yeah.
sitcom, an 80s
This could be a
or
sitcom.
90s, those ABC Friday night sitcoms, they all
Like
were
the Goldberg.
notorious.
Oh, like Boy Meets World.
Yeah, or what's
Smart
the one?
Guy?
What's the one with the nerdy guy with the glasses? Did this all the time.
Urkel.
Yeah, Family Matters, right?
Yeah.
Even your TV show references are from the 80s. Big Bang Theory uses a laugh track.
No.
There's so many
No,
laugh
but
track
no,
shows.
No, I'm saying no. A, that was a 90s show. B, those shows were notorious for overusing the laugh track.
Oh, okay.
Big Bang Theory also overuses the laugh track.
I didn't watch that.
How do we
show.
feel about Seinfeld's use of the laugh track?
Very good.
Ew.
It did. I mean, yeah.
They used it well because the show's actually funny.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if the show was funny, they wouldn't need a laugh track.
Oh.
Wait, are you anti-Seinfeld?
I don't like Seinfeld.
Because he's an
What
idiot.
kind of take is that?
It's just not funny to
Because
me. It's not my
it was
humor.
on BTN. His family didn't.
Listen
get
to
BTN.
Nick's. Listen to
By the
Nick's
way,
jokes.
happy birthday,
I mean, it
BTN.
explains everything.
Okay, yeah.
It explains everything.
I think you lose your white guy card for that.
Ha!
Oh no, I'm not white anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
No, he has not lost his white card.
No, yeah, you get to keep that. But it's on the list. It's on the list of things.
By the way,
Have you watched
made the
Predator
list.
yet?
No, I haven't watched Predator.
an unnamed source Texan says that was not the morning show.
Wow.
So what's going on?
Happer.
What's going on with Jimmy?
Yeah, what's
That's the question. Wasn't me. I didn't leave the poop there.
Must have been Jimmy. Jimmy back from paternity leave.
Could be.
He had sex. He had a kid. Well, his wife had a kid. His fiance had a kid.
Congrats on the
Is
sex,
Jimmy
Jimmy.
married? I always forget if he's married
I
or
don't
not
believe they're-
married.
I don't believe they're married yet.
Yet, okay.
I don't believe they're married.
been a
yet.
long
Because I think they were
engagement.
supposed to, and then wasn't that
And
the
then another
Ireland
kid
game?
came along.
That's what I was gonna
he
say.
Had, he had a big plan.
I thought they were
Yeah.
going to Ireland to get married.
We had plans. We had many plans.
Okay.
Well, either way, congratulations on the sex and the child.
Yep.
And apparently bringing the poop emoji down. I'm assuming that came from the shelf up here.
Oh.
Didn't it sit up here between?
Oh, I've never
our-
seen that LSU hat before. Yes,
Didn't
it was.
Didn't it used to sit up here? See, up here. Let's see if I can aim the camera.
Don't put it back though. I like it where it is.
So up hither. Here,
Mhm.
ISO me, Josh, will you?
ISO him.
ISO me.
Why didn't you do it?
Well, because I'm over here. I can't.
I gotcha.
So we have a shelf of tchotchkes that hangs above our zone.
They're all pretty weird.
A lot of weird stuff. I mean, we got bobbleheads, we've got beer cans,
Rivers
we've got,
Cuomo's up there.
Well, anyway,
Steven Strasburg.
up here where I'm pointing, and again, this is great radio.
Oh, the cans. It says
But-
intern.
But we got some customized Coke cans from Stibbs' dad, R.I.P.
his dad?
No, Stibbs,
Oh,
R.I.P. Stibbs, R.I.P.
Oh,
Stibbs' dad,
no!
fine. Stibbs' dad, fine. Stibbs, R.I.P.
Good.
Anyway,
Good.
because he works at Coke, and we had customized cans, and one says intern and one says Bishop on it. And I
These
think,
are the old days.
and notice
That's
there
funny.
is a gap. I believe that's where he sat.
That's true. It looks familiar
I
now.
believe that's where he sat.
Well, I
Very
don't
appropriately, the poop emoji between our two customized Coke
I don't
cans.
remember that up there at all.
Maybe we could put decapitated Herky the Hawkeye down here because he got his
Oh,
head
that'll
chopped off.
trigger
Yeah,
some people.
Yeah, somebody tried to. What was it? It was. We get a lot of weird things.
Well, it was from the
Like that-
bobblehead.
like the football, like this Husker football up here. You know, someone was like, "Hey, we want to promote this thing that we're selling."
Yeah, it was
And so
from
they
the
sent us a free
National
one.
Bobblehead Museum. Oh,
These
the
ones-
Lego guys?
I do. This
Lego,
a
it's
listener
Funko.
brought the
Oh, Funko, yeah. Sorry.
a listener
Pops.
brought these by, and I was like,
That's Marty Trucks.
I was
That
like,
is Marty
I
Trucks.
said thank you.
That was for
Apparently,
Stibbs.
I
those got
didn't know
big
what
for a
to
minute.
do.
There's a Marty Trucks, there's Bon Scott, and there's Rivers Cuomo. Can we put Rivers in front of Bon?
No, we're not putting anything in front of Bon Scott. Do not-
Weezer's cooler than
Pliny the
ACDC.
Elder, that's good
okay.
beer.
Pliny the Elder is up there.
Yes, yeah.
That was fun. A listener sent that to
I'm
us.
sorry. I got to do this.
What are you triggered right
John's
now?
canceling me again.
Bring up the.
Nick is canceled.
Hey, I like
what
Rivers Cuomo too, man.
Canceled.
Album
Canceled.
Pinkerton.
Pinkerton
Yeah.
is great.
Pinkerton's awesome.
That's
I-
another
I have
white
no idea
person
what you're
thing.
talking
Yeah, see, yeah, exactly.
Weezer, cooler
Weezer's
than
your
ACDC.
era, man. College, Weezer, the Blue Album.
Yeah, the Blue Album was
Say
like
it ain't so. Whoa, whoa.
that was like prime
again,
John Bishop in college.
See, John hated that music though.
know.
Yeah,
he was
like,
not a
Dad
fan
did
of that
too.
Music. Not a fan of that music.
What's with people around John's age hating good music from the 90s?
It's a tough look. Well, he was the only one.
we
Yeah.
only like 90s country and 80s rock.
No, I didn't listen to country and western.
He listened to 80s rock though.
Well, the 90s
Yeah, I
is when
did.
the
A damn great decade. You know what happened
There's
in
some
that
good-
decade?
great 80s
Nebraska
rock.
won a lot of games.
You sound like Husker fans, just living in the past, John. Why don't you live in the
Hey, with
present a
my
little bit more?
music, I live in the past. I admit it.
Yeah.
With my music, I live in the past.
The
And I
Weezer
can
is in the
keep living
past.
in the past.
So maybe you like Weezer.
yeah,
because it's
Weezer
in
is
the past.
classic rock now.
I don't listen.
Before you know it, they're going to be playing Weezer on.
I don't listen.
Can't wait to hear Weezer on the oldies.
I
Yeah,
don't
on the
really have an
oldies
opinion
station.
on it. Let's put it that way. I don't have an opinion on it. But I do have an opinion. You do not desecrate the good name of Bon Scott.
I'm not
Right.
desecrating it. I just think that Rivers should be ahead of him.
Happer,
Because you have a terrible opinion.
where are you at with music these days? Do you still listen to new music?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I do.
incredible.
Can
Yeah,
you
there's-
identify any new music?
There's some if
by
you
s-
played it. there's a-
exactly. By title, can't. I don't
There's
know
a
if the
lot
title
of,
that song, but I've heard it.
There's a lot of there's a lot of Nicki Minaj going around right now. She's back. She's all the
Oh,
way
Nicki
back.
Minaj is back?
Yeah, she's
Folks.
she's doing.
Where
a
did she go?
She was being a mom for a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
congrats
she's-
on the
she's
sex
doing
to
a
her
lot.
as well.
I got to, listen,
See-
she's coming back from being a mom. Serena, she's retiring because she's wanting to be a mom.
That's true.
see, Josh, I'm
Not retired.
I'm on the TikTok.
Oh, that's
Sometimes I
right. So you
scroll
see
around
all
the
the new music.
TikTok,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I see what
yeah.
the youngs are doing.
Yeah, I see that. I sent something to John today. I don't know if it's in content, but the Youngs have decided which of the NFL theme songs they like the most.
Oh, really?
and they chose the NFL on CBS theme
Why'd they choose that?
because they're Youngs. I don't know. You got
Apparently, it's the best thing you can
Da,
shoot
da, da, da,
selfie
da,
videos with.
da. I do
that's
like
not
that song.
good.
Oh, it is
Not
cool.
as
I like
good.
that too.
It's not as good as it's not as good as
Sunday
Night
Night Football is my
Yeah,
favorite.
Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum,
But
bum. Yeah, that's my favorite right now. NFL on Fox, of course, classic. Monday Night Football, classic.
I like how even your music takes are based on sports.
Of course they are.
this is a sports.
because he doesn't have any other music takes.
Hey, I went
I
to
mean, you
a
can't.
Stuart
tick-
Mandel
you can't
podcast.
TikTok
Stuart
dance. Yeah, can you TikTok
Simmons,
dance?
say
to a-
Simmons.
Stuart Mandel podcast.
Stuart
I
Mandel
did listen to
and
Mandel and Feldman
football
today. I
theme
can't lie.
songs.
double speed.
Duh.
Okay, I'm
Stop
just checking.
listening to things. It's so weird.
No,
to
it's
me.
not. It's not
I'm
weird.
just checking. That's
I got it. Hey,
I'm not judging.
John, thank you. Time management. If I can listen to 2 pods in an hour,
Wait, so you listen to Bill Simmons? He's just
He
talking
runs
about
it.
the NBA all the time.
still,
You
it's
don't-
disgusting. Talk more football, Bill.
You don't like the NBA, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you're listening. You're sitting through all the NBA talk.
I don't sit, I run, and then I listen.
See,
But
he-
you're
he
listening
runs
to
at-
all the NBA
He
talk.
runs
Hey, he
at
had
half
NFL
speed,
stuff.
listens at twice speed.
He had an NFL talk yesterday. A little bit like with Warren Sharp.
Maybe I'll be back.
And
then.
somehow it all came back to the Boston Celtics with him.
He did talk about.
Interesting.
He did have an NBA guest on yesterday.
Seriously, I mean, there is no other there. If there was Bizarro World, Bill Simmons and me would be each other
Yeah,
That's
on
true.
the other side of the upside down,
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely true.
because we are completely opposite. I'm smart, he's not.
Nice. John agrees with you. He says, I'm essentially John's age. I don't like Weezer either.
No, I didn't say I didn't like it. I just didn't have really an opinion on it.
John also says, Nick doesn't like Seinfeld. Horrible take. He is canceled for the day even before 2:05.
Wow,
Aaron,
Canceled.
it's first
It's
time I've heard it.
established lore
Aaron
on the
says,
Grum.
Nick is the new best on the show. Seinfeld, notoriously terrible show.
Wait, is
I
this
know,
a
Aaron.
thing that the
No.
Youngs are talking about? now?
Aaron
They
is
don't
not
like
a young.
Seinfeld?
Aaron's almost 40. Aaron is an idiot.
Yeah, Jed doesn't like.
Jed
I know
I
some
love Jed.
old.
Are
See,
the youth
and this
trying
is-
to cancel Seinfeld?
I know some olds.
No,
that don't like
so
Seinfeld.
this is
Date
so
like a
weird to me.
15-year-old.
I say I don't like Seinfeld, and you guys attack me, but I
Correct.
get why people like it. I'm not attacking you for liking it. I just don't think it's funny.
That's fine.
And
We're
then
gonna
I
keep
say I don't
attacking
think it's funny, and you guys come after me.
I'm
Correct.
acclimating.
It's
to
like
this. I
the
made a mistake
iPhone
before.
people.
That's your job. You're our tackling dummy.
Correct. We're not going to stop attacking you because
Yeah.
you say, hey, you're attacking me.
I also haven't heard this, so I'm digging into it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
apologize.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
fine.
Nick, you got to get used to it. We all get attacked for our variety of viewpoints.
Yeah.
You attacked me for my double speed.
That's because it's
Stir me up.
weird.
So is your Seinfeld take.
It's not funny to me. Just the humor doesn't land for me.
You guys laughed at me for my planes.
How can the humor?
No, planes are cool.
How can the humor of
These two.
the contest not
Oh,
land with you?
I don't even know what that means. So
There was an entire episode.
We should have him watch it. It's on Netflix.
You
I wanna
should watch.
Seinfeld.
It's 22 minutes, Nick.
You need to watch
contest.
the episode. Let's see. It's about season 6.
4.
Oh, was that 4? Okay.
Season 4.
Seriously,
It's the
just watch the contest.
You can isolate any episode of Seinfeld, but this one in particular.
So, like, the
This
whole point
is-
of that show is they're all horrible people, right? Because
Correct.
they're also all horrible in
Oh,
Always
yeah.
Sunny, but Always Sunny is funny to me.
well, you
So
should try
why
to-
would I
try
watch
to
Yeah,
find-
it's-
Seinfeld
watch-
if I can
pretty
watch
similar,
Sunny?
yeah.
because
This
it's better.
This is your challenge. Watch the contest.
And if you don't laugh, fine. I mean, we're still going to make fun of you, but fine.
I would be genuinely curious whether he laughs or not. I would be genuinely curious what your review of that would be. You have a homework assignment. It's
Okay.
only 22
I'll do
minutes.
it tonight. I'll do it
22
tonight.
minutes.
The episode is called The Contest. and
Season,
you said
I think it's season 4, episode like 11. I'll look it
Josh will look it up, and they are.
up. Season 4, episode 11. Holy crap.
He's
I'm a
on.
nerd.
God, you
Wow.
are a nerd.
That's
I'm a
crazy.
And where
Oh, Josh, I
where
love
is he
TV.
streaming? Is that
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Easy to find, easy to watch.
Yeah.
It's a half hour long.
Well, that
It's in
commercial
22 minutes.
It's in my. I'll do it tonight.
Boom.
While you're
This will
doing
be
laundry.
interesting.
Yeah.
And then
Done
tomorrow
You're
with
doing
laundry.
we'll
Cap.
review.
Awesome.
That sounds like an awesome idea. We
I
should
want to
all-
watch this.
Yeah, we
now
should-
I'm going to watch
We
the
should
contest
actually
show.
all watch it.
All right,
tonight.
we're all
There
going
we
to
go.
watch the
And that can be
contest.
awesome.
Book report.
It's
Due
like
overnight.
it's the TV club now.
The TV club.
Tomorrow's
The TV
crossover is just going to be talking about a very specific Seinfeld.
We're gonna-
Yeah,
episode.
because we're not ready to move on to North Dakota
I
yet.
believe, let's see, what year did this episode air? 1992.
Wow.
30 years
30
ago.
I
years
was
this
born in
fall.
1992.
I
Awesome.
was not.
30th
Yeah.
anniversary.
So the 11th episode probably happened in November, December.
it happened November the 18th.
So
Wow.
yeah, we're coming up on the 30th
Season
anniversary.
4.
And-
Oh, the
and-
episode before, The Virgin, when Jerry dates a virgin.
Oh, it's funny because she's a virgin.
Yeah,
That was
but
why it was
Exactly.
funny. That was why it was funny,
You
Nick.
had- again.
I don't get the humor. It's just, oh, she's a virgin.
That's
No, it wasn't just she's a virgin. It was him
God,
trying to crack.
You know,
the,
like when Kramer slides in the room? You know, like when he
John
does
Cena.
that?
Oh, I'm the crazy wacky
Yeah.
guy. Oh, I just show up unannounced. Ah, that's my bit.
Yeah, it's funny.
season 4, the Cheever letters. When
remind me.
the cabin burns down and
Yes,
God, I love Seinfeld so much.
man. The
Uh,
season 4, they may
Season
have hit
4.
their
That's
peak.
when
Yeah,
that's when it starts.
that
The
hit
Bubble
their stride,
Boy,
yeah.
The Bubble
Oh.
Boy.
the Watch. God,
The watch is
The
that the
Watch
one
with
where
Uncle
he
Leo?
dumps the watch
Yeah.
and Uncle.
it's when they pitch the show. It's a show about nothing. Just a classic season of television. All timer. I can't wait for this.
Way to go, Nick. Yes, this is exciting.
All right, we've got an assignment. We're not moving on to North Dakota. We're
No.
reviewing.
Yeah, going back to
Seinfeld,
1992.
contest.
Zach, you wanted us to not talk about Nebraska being bad. Fine, we'll
Congrats.
talk Seinfeld.
What's going to happen when I come back tomorrow? And I'm keeping an open mind. But what happens
Canceled.
if I hate it?
Yeah, you're keeping
Then
an open
hit
mind.
the video.
Canceled.
making fun of
We could do that.
everything about
we could
Seinfeld.
pick
I'm
one
keeping
episode
an
of
open
TV.
mind.
That's not a bad idea.
I keep an open mind about things, but I can't imagine this is going to change it. I've seen episodes of Seinfeld. It's not like I've never
I keep
watched
an
it.
open
Yeah,
mind,
but
but I can't imagine. You can't even imagine.
That's literally
Yeah.
not
that this
keeping an
is
open
going
mind.
to change it.
Mhm.
Well, let's find out. Let's
Mhm.
just find out. We won't say anything more about it.
Josh, is Nick going to make time for Seinfeld? You know he's busy.
It's only 22 minutes.
He's a busy guy. He's got laundry
busy.
to do. He's got video games to play.
Well, most laundry loads take more than 22 minutes.
That's true.
In between the load, you'll
That's
be,
true.
You'll be fine. You'll
22
be fine.
minutes.
In fact, you'll be able to watch it at least 3 times because
Oh,
you'll want to watch it 2 more times.
Will I?
You want to
pretty
watch
good.
the episode afterward. You're like, wow, I wonder what happens after this. Turns out they're all isolated. And you didn't need to know anything that happened
exactly.
on Seinfeld. It's great.
Cliffhanger. What's happening
You can
next?
just,
You can just
drop,
jump in at
that's
any
the beauty
time.
of the show. You can
Yeah.
just drop in on the show. It doesn't matter. And
See, and I actually don't like shows like that. I like at least some kind of thin thread, you know?
well, there is a thin
there's the
thread.
They're all
people.
miserable
They're all-
people.
They're all miserable people.
Mhm.
That's
Ha, Michael, El Nick's TV Club. My issue with Seinfeld is the goofy noise they make between scenes. He doesn't like the.
for crying out loud.
See, I'll give Seinfeld that. That's funky. I do like some funk.
Oh man,
Funky.
I can't wait to
That's
watch
a
this.
staple of 90s TV.
Yes,
weird
like with
segments.
Friends,
that's
it was always
fine.
the same
I like the
3 chords
funk.
of the
Yeah.
who was the band that did the Friends theme?
I don't know.
They always had.
When I worked at that hardware
And
store,
then Joey came in and said, "Hey, I had sex."
how you
That's
doing?
a crappy show.
Yeah, that show sucks.
I didn't like
cannot
Friends that much
stand
either.
Friends.
I
And then-
am
and then-
gonna get a lot. I like How I Met
He
Your
had
Mother.
Ross walking
I like
in,
How I
being
Met
all
Your
emo.
like that
Oh, I
too.
can't believe I cheated
Oh man, I'm
on
with
Sharon.
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, I
What I
want her
hated-
Shut up,
back.
Ross.
Meanwhile, I'm going to cheat on her with someone else. Oh.
What I hated the most about Ross is he was a bad person and he just didn't realize it, and he didn't understand why people didn't like him.
Ross is an incredibly easy character to hate. And then he was on Band of Brothers. Hated his character on Band of Brothers as well.
Was he on
Yeah,
Band
me
of
too.
Brothers?
Yeah, he was on Band of
I need
Brothers.
to watch that.
Yeah.
show.
That
Did
was
he
such
show
a
up
weird
on,
character
like
choice.
True Detective or something like that too? Or
He was on the O.J. Simpson thing,
that was it.
Yes,
that's
he
what
was
I'm
a
saying.
Kardashian,
He
right?
played Kardashian.
Yeah.
which I actually really liked him in. I think he played that really well.
That was a good show.
Old Schwimmer.
All right, there you go. Homework assignment for tomorrow's crossover.
Yes,
Episode
exciting.
11, season 4, The Contest, Seinfeld. Everyone watch along and we'll have a
Take
book report
diligent notes.
Yep.
Yes, notes.
Legit notes.
Many notes. Many notes.
Josh, watch it on normal speed.
Oh, do I have? Do they have that right? Doesn't Netflix?
Yeah, that's
have
on
that?
Netflix. They have
I don't
that.
do that for the record. I don't watch TV shows on
that
double
would be
speed.
so bad.
You want to watch Stranger Things at 2.75
I mean, with
speed?
apparently
Nope.
how long the episodes are, it would
Well,
probably
Oh,
help.
yeah.
The last episode of the last season was 2.5 hours.
I
Oh,
know.
that's not TV. That's a movie.
That's a movie.
I liked it.
It was good, though.
I just finished it.
It was good.
Mhm.
All right,
there you
can't
go.
wait.
That's the crossover. We got a busy program today and some frosty highlights. Yeah, we're going to get started with some frosty highlights.
I have some
Coming up.
takes.
Yeah, on 1620 The Zone.
within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Oh, like I said, busy program today. Bill Conley's going to join us, Michael Bruntz, and the final episode of Mike Farron's Reading Rainbow.
Oh, but not Mike Farron.
No.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
And that is your Roofery's lineup, powered by the Roofery's John Higgins Weather Guard. Glad you could join us on a Tuesday. 402-951-1620. That's your Lus Hills Harley Davidson hotline. Vroom, vroom. What's the little tagline there I'm supposed to read? You're home in the hills. Thank you. I'll get that memorized because the bit. Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, just
I
notice
didn't
it
even
too.
see it.
There you go.
I didn't
either. I wasn't being critical.
We don't have we do have the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed up there on the deal. And
oh, remember clink, clink, clink.
But you know what
Dragons.
we don't have? You know what we don't have posted in here? The Equitable Bank inbox.
We should just have a picture of an old guy.
That's because old man Doug's been such a faithful friend of the program that we just get everything memorized. You know, how he takes banking personally, answers the phone on the first ring.
He even owned up to Nick being right about the game on Saturday. Because he was, of all the people who were critical of Nick's pick, he was the most critical.
Oh, he was very critical.
Yeah.
Very critical, very triggered. But if you're triggered or not, you can send us an email into Doug's email inbox, our email inbox, brought to you by Doug at Equitable Bank. John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com. We do have Frosty highlights. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But did you see this? Did you hear about this?
What happened now?
Oh, the good news.
What happened now? What happened now? What happened now?
The Nebraska-Northwestern game. You know, Josh is not a TV ratings guy anymore, but I am.
I am not a TV ratings guy. That's correct.
But because that's going to influence the future of college football as we know it.
Does that mean I have to become one again?
No, you know what? You can just ride my coattails, Josh.
Perfect.
My original coattails. The original TV ratings guy.
Yes.
This was the second most watched week 0 game since week 0 became a thing about 6 years ago.
Is it only behind the Florida-Miami game?
Yep, which was in prime time because it was actually played here in the States. Well, actually,
it was down in Florida, yeah.
Yeah. That game drew a robust 6 million viewers 3 years ago.
I was at a wedding that night.
But Nebraska Northwestern, 4.4 million viewers on
Dang!
Fox. By comparison, it was 32% better than last year's week 0 game. Because remember, Nebraska-Illinois was also the
only game,
the featured game of the day in week 0.
And while that one went down to the wire, you had like a blowout situation for a little bit, whereas this one was back in every time Nebraska got an 11-point lead, boom, Northwestern would score right away to make it a one-score game again.
Yes.
Dang, so that many people saw the onside kick heard round the world.
Oh, yeah, that many people saw the onside kick around the world.
That's a bummer.
Oh, by the way, because again, I am a TV ratings guy.
Oh,
it is the fifth most watched game. This is not counting the COVID year. I suppose I could go back and retroactively put in all the
damn
COVID
you
stuff.
COVID.
But the COVID year was such a weird year in terms of
everything.
TV ratings
viewership was down for
across
everything.
the board.
Yeah.
So not counting the COVID year.
Huskers on the flat screen. I like this graphic.
You like that?
That's fun. Yeah, because we don't have the round screens anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the 5th most watched game since 2017.
Dang, that's a bummer. Did they win any of those games?
No.
Well, yeah,
Ohio State occupies the first 3 spots.
the first one is the primetime Ohio State game.
And
day.
then last year's Ohio State game is second. The 2018 Ohio State
they
game
should have
is
won
third.
that game, John.
Then last year's Michigan game.
Oh, that was a
then
bummer.
Northwestern, which had more viewers than the Oklahoma game did last year. Now that game.
Wow,
had
is
more.
this the
That
best rival Nebraska has? Nebraska Northwestern 402-951-1620. The question that we're having to ask: should they move this game to Black Friday?
It's a pretty even matchup.
It really is. The games
It's a
are
lot
often
more
good.
even than the Iowa matchup.
Oh, that's
And it is the
true.
battle of the NU, so they have something to fight over.
That's true. The winner gets the letters.
Yeah.
Take the N and the U off of your keyboard if you lose.
So congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome.
4.4 million people saw
is
that game.
Sicko Herbie in the graphic up there? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. That's Reaganomics, Herbie.
That's what you look like when you watch Nebraska lose again.
Yeah, you get
that
the big
feel
bug
when you're
eyes.
watching Nebraska lose.
I really don't like that Herbie.
Well,
It makes me so
Well, maybe that
uncomfortable.
Herbie doesn't like you. Did you ever
Yeah.
think about that?
You ever think that Herbie is the living embodiment of the curse?
oh,
No,
No,
that
he was
that
around in
Herbie,
the good
that
days.
Herbie. You know what that Herbie saw? Wins.
that's true.
A lot of wins.
Not lins, losses that are wins.
I'm trying to remember when they retired that Herbie.
Jack Mitchell probably knows.
Well,
When did they retire Weirdo Herbie? 402-951-1620.
I'm trying to remember if it was before the national championships
I'll tweet at Jack and I'll ask him.
when they retired that Herbie mascot, that Herbie mascot costume. Because obviously Herbie wasn't retired. He just got changed into a metrosexual back in 2004. Which
I
was
just
stupid.
tweeted
That
at
Herbie
Jack.
should have been taken to a farm upstate.
Wow, look at his eyes.
I
Can we
don't
call
like
this
this.
meth
Well,
Herbie?
Why would you take him to a farm upstate? That's where he came from.
Nice. Nice.
Put him back there.
Also, from this angle, he looks like he's wearing a chef's hat that's red. The one that I just tweeted out one.
Well, yeah.
His hat looks like a chef's hat.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna
Well,
make us
that's
some
because his head's
spaghetti
kinda
and
tilted up.
meatballs.
He can't see the N on
Yeah.
the front.
Is
of it.
Reaganomics Herbie getting ratatouille'd?
Not underneath him the whole time, underneath his hat.
Again, Reaganomics Herbie saw a lot of wins.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
I'm gonna call him Psycho Herbie or Meth Herbie. I think.
It looks like he's seen a lot more than wins, John.
Oh, yeah. That Herbie has seen some bleep. Seen some.
By the way,
bleep.
I got really
Seen
up,
some bleep.
I got really up close with those
I did that.
eyeballs. The eyeballs even looked bloodshot.
They are horrible in person. Very scary.
It's not good.
Jack Mitchell says, I want to say they had another blonde version of him starting in the mid 80s. So maybe sometime
No, it
around
was later
80s,
than that.
86.
Because this was literally mid 80s.
Brian says that Herbie has some nice chompers, but he has
I
definitely
know that
seen
there
some
was
horrors.
there was a better version
Chomp
of
boy.
original OG Herbie before they became metrosexual Herbie.
I
just trying to remember the timing. It may have been late 80s, early 90s.
I like Psycho Corn, whatever.
Oh, Cornhead guy?
Yeah, that was quite
Cornhead
good.
guy is great.
Yeah, Cornhead guy. Plus, I have the shirt with like the weird corn looking person.
Yeah.
That's
In the Great Depression, what a time for mascots.
Yeah, it
What
was.
a time.
depression mascots are terrifying.
We need to bring them back.
We're
Going through some stuff
going
as a
through
country.
depression.
We need to start making the mascots scary again. I'm sick of all these happy mascots that are safe for children. Bring back the scary mascots. Remember, that's like, hey kids, it's Easter. Let's go hang out with the bunny rabbit. And the thing looked like something out of a Stephen King novel.
Yeah, no, I
Those
agree.
are the good old days.
In the
I agree.
future, when society's all like Mad Maxed out, people are going to
Yeah.
come across old pictures of these and they're going to think that they're like the equivalent of Bigfoot or
Yeah.
Mothman.
Why are they so happy
I
back
agree.
then? Yeah.
All right, well, coming up next, some Frosty highlights, but we're going to focus just mainly on one subject that kind of
The
dominated.
onside kick?
No.
Thank God.
Actually, you know what?
He wasn't asked
He
about
was up
it.
there for 15 minutes, it was never addressed or hinted at once.
Yeah. Which it kind of surprises me.
It did, but this other subject, which honestly is also pretty important, very important towards the outcome of this season, the whole creative offense thing, that took center stage today at the Scoff Raw press conference. So some Frosty highlights are straight ahead here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. We are now 6 days away from Labor Day. You're trying to put together some plans for maybe your last 3-day weekend in quite some time. The next holiday that is on the books where a lot of us will get more than one day or more than 2 days off, in a weekend, of course, is Thanksgiving. And that's not coming until it is cool and cold and the sun is setting really early. Well, you don't have that problem this weekend. You have instead very comfortable temperatures. We had one of the best mornings in months earlier today, and it's going to be like that this weekend as well. Give them a call, 402-498-0220. Book your tee times for the course for Saturday. Maybe get out, play some golf before the games get going. Sunday, of course, and then that holiday on Monday. And while you have that number handy, don't forget about lessons from Mike Favre. You can get fitted for clubs as well. Got fitted a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago now. I have had my Callaway clubs. Absolutely incredible. These things are still in awesome shape. Plus, they go through the entire process. They figure out how your swing is, and they make sure that these clubs will fit you on the course. Of course, lengthwise, but also how they will work with your swing. They will answer any question that you have and help you enjoy golf more than ever before. 402-498-0220, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours, Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, only on 1620 The Zone.
Center. There are games, carnival rides, and food, plus clowns, robots, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club, boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest at CHI Center, Lot D. Click SeptemberFestOmaha.org for times and parking info.
O'Reilly. Don't risk getting stranded with a bad battery. Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery does need to be replaced, we'll help you find the best battery for your vehicle and your budget. Don't wait until your battery is dead. Get it tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. Join us September 2nd for the Oliva event from 6 to 9 for live music, free food, and awesome cigar deals. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Nebraska for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. it does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
1180 The Zone is your home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball. The Storm Chasers are in action at Werner Park and beyond with an exciting team filled with future Major League stars. Join Jake Eisenberg for every pitch, every hit, and every out. Tune in and stir up the Storm all season long on 1180 The Zone.
The Storm Chasers are on the road versus the St. Paul Saints. The pregame set for 6:47, first pitch at 7:07 on 1180 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
You're listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
He was a snarling dog. He's got a real hard edge. He can stay, dude. His demeanor's pretty in a fighting pose. He's at posture, which is good. I think if you're a Nebraska fan, that's what you want. He's not a dog. He's a snarling dog.
It's time for Frosty Highlights.
Will texts in Frosty Highlights, alt name Sugar Frosted Takes. That's good.
I like that.
If he gets a year 6, we're calling this Frosted Takes.
I like
Sugar
that a
frosted
lot.
Takes. Sugar Frosted. We could do a cereal box and everything.
Do we even need the word sugar? Because frosted.
I mean, we don't need it, but I kind of like it.
I like frosted.
I'll give it up to Will for that one. Will, well played, man.
Ooh, man.
Will played.
Listen, I mean, there's nothing says we can't change it now or in sometime this season. But I think you're right. And you know what? That should be the reward. There's your reward from the program, Scott. If you get another year, next year, this segment will be called Sugar Frosted Takes. Right? Is that what he said? Sugar Frosted Takes. Yeah.
And
I love that.
And along those lines, BJ in Bellevue says, is people like you who are to blame for the downfall of Husker football. All your negativity hurts us. Why don't you go root for Iowa or Wisconsin? The email was so funny that I had to ask, are you doing a bit? And BJ's response, I'm serious. Please respect our coach. And then added, geek.
Nice.
Yeah, you geek.
I think this is a bit. This doesn't seem real.
Respect our
We
coach.
haven't even been negative towards Frost today.
I wonder. I mean,
all right, now let's get to the Frosted Takes.
Yeah, let's get to the Frosted Takes.
This is awesome. Thank you, Will.
This.
Here is the quote that, if you think about it, I still believe it's not so much the onside kick, but it was the decision and the mentality behind the onside kick that is the reason why the Frost regime has failed.
And by the way, do you still think
And
that
is
it wasn't his call, or have you changed your tune on that?
Well, it sounds like it was his call based on some audio that was on the post-game radio show.
Yeah.
That this was something they had planned.
Mhm.
Either way, no matter what, he did it. It still lands on his shoulders at the end of the day.
This is why you
whether or not you give the command to audible or it falls on his shoulders. But it's the decision behind that. And I explained it all yesterday. You can go back to the radio replay. That is the overarching reason why this regime has failed.
Mm-hmm.
Why their culture is only a 33% winner. But the storyline that was going to give him, Frost, another year that was going to impact this season the most was going to be the dynamic of Scott Frost relinquishing play calling, handing the keys to somebody else, and how that dynamic was going to work, whether or not Frost could pull himself away, whether or not he could trust Whipple. And so after the game, when he said this,
we certainly didn't dominate. And again, I give their staff a lot of credit too. There were some scheme things that they hit us on offense. I think we're going to have to learn as an offensive staff that you got to be a little creative in this league.
That landed like a thud.
Yes, it did. And we're not talking about thudding up.
we've got to learn to be more creative in this league.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be talking about himself because he said as an offensive staff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been here for 4 years, so apparently this was a lesson he already, quote unquote, knew.
Mm-hmm.
And it came across to a lot of people that he was throwing his offensive coordinator and or staff a little bit under the bus.
Which is, again, weird because, as we talked about yesterday, of all the complaints to have, creativity on offense, we did not think was, like, among the big ones to have.
So, first or second or third question out of the chute, it was asked to expand on the whole needing to be more creative comment, and here was how Scott Frost answered it.
Yeah, I didn't even realize I said that after the game. I guess, kind of referring to the run game more than anything. Coach Whip's really good. He knows his stuff. Thought he did a really good job calling the game. We've gotten better up front. There's no doubt about it. We're better at running back. There's no doubt about it. But in the Big Ten, it's hard to just turn around and hand it to a back and think you're going to be real consistent. So I think I was referring to coming off the game, just maybe having a few more things in the run game that are schemed for the particular opponent.
He didn't realize he had said it.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Adversity reveals things. It reveals things in actions and words and thoughts. And it was something that maybe he didn't realize he had said it, but subconsciously it came out. And so now for the second time in as many weeks, either an innocuous or a subliminal thought that came out in speech is having to be walked back. It was obviously the vomit comment from 2 weeks ago, and now this. And this one, quite frankly, is a little more...
I'd say this one is more important because
it's more important because
it's about a relationship.
It's going about a relationship.
Yeah.
More on that in a second. Then Frost was asked if he debriefed with the offensive staff on the whole creativity side of it.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the creativity thing. That we did a lot of really creative things on offense, and for the first 2.5 quarters, I thought the offense, for having a lot of new pieces and new coaches, operated really well. But I did debrief with both sides, and there's a lot of frustration and disappointment, but also some things we can build on.
See, I think that's the key right there. A lot of frustration and disappointment. I think the words came out on Saturday out of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I believe that came from. There's truth in those words. Whether or not, and obviously he walked it back, but they were said, and I think they came out in frustration. Interesting when you consider all the other things that went wrong, and one of the first things that the coach is thinking about is offense and offensive creativity.
And I think you and I are kind of on the same wavelength here, and a lot of that's just because he doesn't want to not call plays anymore. He didn't want to give up play calling, and so that's where his frustration was because he didn't control that as much as he normally would. Whereas, did the offense lose them the game? I don't think so. They didn't look. They sucked for the last quarter and a half. That's not why they lost it. They lost because they couldn't get a stop and because they had an ill-advised onside kick, in my opinion. They punted the ball. Where did Northwestern start on their last drive? Before not counting
inside the 10,
and they drove to the 50.
Drove into plus territory, about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and they took off how much time? In
about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's why he lost the game. He couldn't get a stop when he needed one.
Later, he was then asked about inserting Logan Smothers, and this is the one I'm going to need you to play for me, Nick. He was asked about Smothers and using the QB run game, and it led to this.
Simply said, Sam, if I was calling a game, I wouldn't want somebody else shoving a lot of things down my throat. You get a rhythm as a play caller. That's the approach I took. Whip's an elite play caller. I think that showed up in the first 2.5 quarters. You see what can be done with this offense. We did run some of it. If I was calling it, maybe we call a little more, but I also wouldn't have been able to call the things he did to score us the first 28 points. So it's going to have to continue to be a marriage of different things, and I think we'll continue to get better at that.
Look, man, I just have a bad feeling about this stuff. It is so obvious that he is not calling plays. And I'm inferring, and people can get mad at me. it just does not sound. It doesn't sound comfortable. I told that to multiple people today during the presser. This all sounds uncomfortable because he was also he overly praised Whipple. I think he praised him more today than he has in the last 8 months. In the way he talked about how he's an elite play caller and how he loved what he did and how he loves Mark Whipple. And I'm just like, where did this stuff come from?
One final thing on this subject, then we're going to take a break. We got Bill Conley coming up. But leave it to good old Eric Olson of the Associated Press to go right to the heart of the matter. Check out this question that was asked.
You mentioned cooperation after the game. I mean, is there tension between you and Mark at all?
No, not at all. He's really smart, really good at what he does. We have a lot of other coaches that are really smart, really good at what they do. We just need to find our rhythm of putting all the best stuff together. And I thought it was good on Saturday. It can be better.
Now, I'll give Frost credit for this. There wasn't a lot of tension in the room. You know, normally if you would press a coach like this, especially with as pointed a question as that, coming off a loss, you might get a glare. You might, again.
No, just a quick terse no.
And I mentioned this with Sip yesterday. The matter-of-factness of Saturday and the matter-of-factness of today, there has been a change to the recent in front of the microphone behavior of the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that can be a good thing. It can be.
Sure.
Maybe that's something that he and Trev have been working on, or something he's been working on with somebody. But it was a very matter-of-fact thing. You know, it wasn't very terse. It wasn't very tense. At least it didn't seem like it to me.
Yeah. Greg Lingen, real quick, says, hasn't Whipple been on campus since winter, and they've had multiple scrimmages with him calling plays before week 0? They're still working out the dynamic? Yes, definitely.
Well, here's the deal. You can practice that stuff all you want, but you're playing against yourself.
Yeah.
This is the first time you're playing against somebody else who is trying to counter you and defeat you.
Yeah.
402-951-1620. There's other things.
There's more frosted takes.
There's more sugar frosted takes. I think it's official now.
Sugar frosted takes.
I think we should call it sugar frosted takes because there's nothing in the open that says frosted.
All right, so here's what one of our friends of the Grum, you're out there. Because that's sugar frosted flakes is what we're talking about right now, right? We need it. We need a graphic.
Yeah.
We need you to help us with the graphic. Their takes.
Do they say sugar or is it just frost?
They do indeed say sugar.
Really?
They do indeed.
Well,
say
there's
sugar.
also sugar, honey golden smacks. You know, there's
like here's an old school one, sugar frosted takes. Look at Tony the Tiger there.
Yeah.
I've only heard him as frosted. I've never had the word sugar. I believe you guys have just.
No, I don't
This
think
is
they
old
put
school.
I don't think they put sugar on them anymore, but I like adding the word sugar.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's fair.
Sugar frosted.
So
takes.
someone make us a cool graphic. Thank you.
And we'll
give you
highlight
credit
it here on the video.
Yeah, you'll be on our video all the time.
Make sure you send it to me in a nice, clear, concise
And
format.
instead of Tony the Tiger, put Reaganomics Herbie on it.
That worked. Yeah, with the meth eye.
Bill Conley of ESPN.com coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Hi, everybody. Gary Sharp. You know, if you've been in Nebraska for a while and you love going to sporting events and you're getting your hands on the best tickets, there's a good chance you bought them from Ticket Express. Well, I'm here to tell you that Ticket Express has a new name. It's Tickets for Less. So if you've loved the quality customer service and the community feel that Ticket Express has brought us over the past 3 decades, have no fear. Tickets for Less is going to be here with the same energy and the same selection. Ticketsforless.com. Always the best seats at the best prices to your favorite sporting events. And if you ever need anything, just give them a call. 402-398-1999 and tell them Gary sent you.
Psst, come here. I got a secret weapon that'll make your family happy. Real happy. It's my new caramel toffee cookie combo. My big chocolate chip cookie covered with caramel and toffee bits. Add any medium specialty pizza piled high with the best toppings and loads of mozzarella on top. Plus any medium one-topping pizza. Caramel toffee cookie combo. Order now. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction. Call them for a free estimate on roofing, siding, windows, or even solar. They're close by with 3 locations in Nebraska, including Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. Need financing? J-Tech offers 0% interest for 60 months. Call 402-261-3682 or go online to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, Nebraska's exterior expert.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. End the summer strong by starting up a new season of productivity. Your business upgrade begins with up to 48% off top-rated laptops, like Vostro, taking performance to the next level with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. It's time to push your growing business even further. What's next for you? Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Welcome back. John and Josh with Nick, 402-951-1620, Los Hills Harley-Davidson Hotline. This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Don't forget, we're always streaming live to the program at 1620thezone.com. It's so dang easy. You just go to the website and the videos are right there. But yes, it is still AM radio, no matter how you watch the program. Our next guest, in the wake of the loss to Northwestern, with a story on ESPN Plus, the downfall of Nebraska football, 10 games that explain the Cornhuskers' tailspin. He is a friend of the program, the man behind SP Plus.
Oh, yeah.
He is Bill Conley of ESPN.com. Good afternoon, Bill.
So I'm still a friend of the program.
Always.
Yes, Bill.
Always, Bill.
Yes, because I respect the ability to just go right back into the Rolodex as you did. And now, granted, you have a lot of easy material to work with, because as I was going through your list of 10 games, I was thinking, man, I think I might have put this game in.
I was thinking the same thing.
But it's not like your list was bad. It's just there's so many games that can help explain what has taken place over the last 20 years.
Oh yeah, no. The original list had like 24. I had to whittle it down. I know Kansas State fans were a little mad that I didn't get one of their big wins in there, but there are a lot of former Big 12 fan bases or rival fan bases that enjoyed the piece a lot more than I really intended. It wasn't meant to just be a hey, point and laugh kind of deal, but some people took it that way.
Yeah, Bill, I mean, we've talked about it before with you, just given your history where you went to school down at Missouri, you were at the 1997 game. I mean, now so many years later, 21 years now, almost, after the game that you began the list with, which is 62-36. Like, is there a part of you that still kind of can't believe that this is the current state that Nebraska finds themselves in?
Well, I didn't think it was pretty apt that it was it was Missouri fans, Colorado fans, and Kansas State, Iowa State fans. They're the ones that got the most kick out of it. And I mean, they haven't even been conference rivals for a decade now. But that was, if you were alive during a certain time period and you were getting into college football, especially in the 80s or 90s or even 70s, it still kind of shocked your mind a little bit that this is what's happening. Even after a 20-year slow motion slide, it still kind of shocked the system a bit because of just the level that was established before then. So, take it as a compliment, I guess, that Nebraska fans should, because they left that indelible an impression over that long a period of time. But yeah, I think it really does speak to when you started paying attention to college football.
We have often, Bill, at least I've often kind of equated what is happening and what could continue to happen to Nebraska football, similar to what happened to Minnesota football, which is going way back. But Minnesota football prior to the early to mid 60s was a powerhouse. I mean, that's why they have so many of the, the little brown jug and the axe and everything. I mean, the rivalry with Michigan was probably Michigan's second biggest rivalry next to Ohio State for a long time. And granted,
sports,
the situations are different. Pro sports came to Minnesota and it kind of changed the focus, but Minnesota has not been the same power. And here's Nebraska kind of in a similar situation where they're on the precipice in a way of falling completely out of the same type of reverence. Yet when you bring up this article and you mention, in the answer you just gave, there is still that element of, credence or credibility that Nebraska still has, even though they haven't been relevant in the national chase for 20 years. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure part of it is, sports writers are a certain age that do remember it and all that. But at the same time, I mean, Nebraska still draws 80 whatever thousand. I will see about the sellout streak and all that stuff. But that's, I think, for Nebraska to end up pulling in Minnesota, or especially like the 70s and 80s version of Minnesota, they've got they've built back a little bit. I like what they're building up there. Their stadium's beautiful, all that, but the fall off that we saw after they won that last national title, I think in 1960, that was pretty dramatic. And I think, without a pro influence, then that'll help them Nebraska out a lot. But also it would require fans to stop showing up to some degree, because as long as you're drawing 80 whatever thousand, you're relevant. And, that's always going to help them. So, it's funny. Anytime we talk about this, we talk a lot about like the overall recruiting, the demographics, and it's harder to build a base. And I think, or a recruiting base that is. And then the walk-on program that had so much success, everybody's kind of imitated it to a certain degree. Others are kind of doing it better. But Nebraska still signs top 20 or 25 classes on average. The problem isn't recruiting or anything else; it's execution of a plan. And so I'm not worried about like a Minnesota level slide just yet. They just need to. I don't know who the right coach is at this point. If it wasn't Scott Frost, I have no idea. But as long as you're recruiting like that, and as long as there are still plenty of 4-stars on the roster, then it's not just a problem of interest and talent.
Bill, along the lines of not knowing who is the guy, I wanted to read the paragraph that finished up the story. You wrote, "When you cannot escape the past, it's impossible to effectively plan for the future. It's pretty easy to describe how Nebraska got here, but if your former star quarterback with his nearly perfectly crafted resume can't get all the arrows pointed in the right direction and win big, it's hard to know which direction to turn next." One of the things that I guess I have found kind of interesting about this season, Bill, is like the idea of getting another year or two, like doing just enough versus like putting a product on the field that I think, not to do the old like that fans will be proud of, but more that just says like, okay, they actually are turning into maybe what people thought that they could be. I guess, how do you maybe balance this season of that, where, hey, maybe they still do get to 6 wins, but I don't know. I feel pretty confident in saying he is not it. He is not the guy. He's not he was not the prince who was promised. And I guess I just wonder what all that could mean for 2022 and beyond.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest issue right now is culture. Just the overall, upperclassmen teaching the underclassmen, here's how it's done. Here's how we're going to win games. Like when you shift your philosophy so much, when you just go so long without winning, that's the number. Establishing a good culture is the number one thing right now, and it is hard to make the case after this number of years that Scott Frost, even if he gets them to 6-6, which he still could do. They responded well to last year's week 0 kind of embarrassing type defeat, and they have a couple games here to get right. They could absolutely still rally to 6-6 or whatever, but it's hard to say that culture is taking shape, because I think the way everybody clammed up, the way that Saturday's game in Dublin was just a Groundhog Day. It was the same game in a different continent. The way that all took shape, you cannot make the case that their culture is anywhere close to where it needs to be. There was nobody stepping up. Everybody, as soon as that onside kick, which I can actually defend the onside kick, as soon as that went wrong, everybody just kind of got a look in their eyes. And Northwestern knew, we're going to win this game. And that's really, really hard to overcome long term.
Bill, along those lines, you obviously you pour over a ton of stats, and one of the things that you have been consistent in saying, whether it's with us or just in your written work as well, is like one score losses and wins, turnovers, etc. Like it's all going to eventually go back to 50-50. That's how things work. It's just like flipping a coin, right? I can flip it, it could land heads 25 times in a row, but if I do it a million times, eventually it's going to be 50-50. What do we make of this? That they continue to lose these games, not even just in the manner, but with the final score, the margin of victory. What is the one score record now?
5-21.
5-21. I mean, what do we make of this?
It's funny because that's my joke for a long time has been, we've had the Dabo Swinney's and Ken Niumatalolo, Bill Snyder, these guys who win a lot more close games than they lose. Pat Fitzgerald, for instance. There are plenty of those guys, but there hasn't ever been the opposite of that, because nobody's been around long enough to generate that kind of bad record on the other side. Like Dabo over the last 10 years, something like 30-7 in one score games. We haven't really seen a case where somebody could go 7-30 because they'll get fired before then. But Frost, it's such a unique ability to keep games close and then lose them. He hasn't even been around that long, and he's had 26 one-score games. That means Nebraska, and it's not always, but usually against decent or good teams. It's so fascinating to me because I don't know at that point what the problem is. Like, you could kind of craft a close game formula based on just general time management and coaching and proper execution in certain situations, the right 4-minute drill, that kind of thing. You could have that. You've got quarterback play and the ability to make the right decisions, the key moments. Special teams, certainly throw that in there. This all explains last year, but you just changed special teams coaches, changed quarterbacks, and changed a whole lot of the sideline staff, and the exact same thing just happened. So it's clearly not just random. There is clearly a method here, a bad method, but a method. It's I don't even know. It's just incredible to me that this is kind of taking shape this way. And we're learning a lot about close games, I guess.
Bill Conley of ESPN.com. Does a team like this and this stretch of all of these, dare I say the word, close games, does it, because you're always tinkering with the formula, SP Plus. You're always looking at ways to try to make it better. Does a team like this make you give you the desire to I got to find something here that I can use and quantify this with a number?
Well, I think as funny as it sounds, I had really good FCS SP Plus numbers last year. The FCS numbers actually did better than FBS, and it kind of weirded me out because it was just using points scored and allowed. Not all this like predictive stuff that I've been using for years. It was just pure points, opponent adjusted and all that stuff. But that was the only input, and it produced really good numbers. And it made me start to think, like, have I been doing this all wrong? But I went back this off season and I played with the FBS numbers, and I just tried to let scores stand for themselves a little bit more. And I think it's made the number better. I think it certainly, it tamps Nebraska's ratings down a little bit, and it bumped up the teams like the Utah States of the world that won more than SP Plus really gave them credit for last year. And I think it'll help moving forward because it adds a little bit of that, basically acknowledging that I can talk about predictive stats all I want, but the scores do mean something, and we're going to lean into that a little bit more. So I think SP Plus is a little better accustomed now to handle these teams than before, but it is still, you just don't keep all these good teams close if you're not at least a reasonably decent, talented team. And Nebraska continues to amaze.
I appreciate that. Sorry, I appreciate you saying that, Bill, because we follow your numbers and we've been projecting the scores in advance using your numbers. I always attach a 2.5 point home spread, and we just kind of use it as a gauge. And we were wondering why in your last update a couple weeks ago, where Nebraska lost some ground, and I think you just kind of explained it a little bit. Some of that history is come back to bite them. So it was interesting because we were kind of curious as to why that was.
Yeah, that was the main reason. The teams that were getting kind of propped up by the predictive aspect, but lost a lot of close games, and then conversely, the ones that won a lot of close games last year, those teams moved a little bit, and that was the major reason why.
Bill, looking at the rest of the sport, week 1, 2 days away now, biggest question you have about college football this season, what is it?
I hate to just assume that Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State are all going to be as good as we think. But it's kind of left me in this weird situation where, I have to start everything with, well, even if though they take up 3 of 4 playoff spots, we still have that last one to talk about. But at the same time, it has been really interesting to me that you can make the case for about 18 different teams being number 4 right now. And that's going to be super interesting to see, even if those top 3, even if the big 3 programs this year are all every bit as good as advertised. It really is going to be interesting to see who can kind of overcome question marks and flaws. Michigan having new coordinators, new defensive ends, Oklahoma having a bunch of new stuff, Clemson maybe not having enough new stuff on offense. Lots of interesting little combinations there, and I'm curious who can take biggest advantage of it.
Kind of along the lines of what John asked you a couple of minutes ago, Bill, like going into a season, I cannot imagine you've ever had one with this many unknowns, just given, of course, all the coaching changes, but especially the portal. And I wonder if that will cause you to maybe do more stuff with your numbers earlier in the year than you normally do, just as you kind of figure stuff out as you watch it unfold.
It's going to be interesting. Obviously, we've never had teams this many. I've accounted for transfers plenty of times through the years, but we've never seen a team like USC that not only brought in basically 20 transfers, but had a lot of them be really big established names. And so that's going to be, there's just no precedent for that, or kind of what LSU is doing, basically bringing in an all-star secondary from a bunch of different schools we'll see how much continuity really matters here. And so for the preseason projections, I'm absolutely going to need a little evidence here of how this all works, and then I can adjust from there. But in season, it's going to be interesting. I try not to, I freak out anytime SP Plus has a single bad week and I want to change everything and make fixes on the fly, and it doesn't really work that way. So I might just have to put up with it being wrong about certain teams and try to get it right about as many as possible. We'll see.
A little teaser, Bill. Do you have the projected score on this week's Nebraska game?
Let's see. I did not have it queued up, but nothing's better than me looking at the spreadsheet on the radio.
Yeah, absolutely. I was because I don't know how you do cross the streams.
Yeah,
I haven't figured out
FCS.
that part of your formula, how you cross the streams. But
37-14 Nebraska is what I've got. North Dakota's a solid FCS team, obviously not the best FCS team in North Dakota, but a solid one. And this should still be a pretty comfortable situation.
So you're looking at a total in the low 50s with about a 23-point spread. We'll see how that compares to the actual spread
whenever that thing comes out.
Yeah, they usually
Friday.
You said they usually don't come out till Friday. Well, Bill Conley of SP Plus and ESPN.com. Great stuff as always. Thank you, Bill. We always appreciate it. Thanks for the chat.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill Conley on 1620 The Zone.
I'm happy you asked that because I'd been wondering that same thing. Yeah, when it's FBS versus FCS, we usually don't get those lines until late in the week. Like, remember the Bethune-Cookman line in 18? That didn't come out until...
Wasn't that day of game?
It might have been the day of the game.
Morning of the game?
Yeah, so yeah, I guess we'll just continue to wait for it to show up on the various sites, including the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Promo code 1620. Where right now you can get $150 in free bets guaranteed. All you have to do is place that first $5 bet.
Whoa!
And yeah, college football starting this weekend, but the next week, a week from Thursday, it's the NFL. And if you want to steal some money from the FanDuel Sportsbook, look at that ridiculous line. Buffalo overrated, favored at Los Angeles, home of the world champions,
former
home
world
of
champions.
the Rams. 5 guys in the NFL top 100 players, and they're an underdog at home. Come on, people. You can take advantage right now at America's #1 sportsbook and an official partner of the NFL. Using our promo code 1620, Josh, you could score $150 in free bets.
Plus the season, John, still 9 days away, so plenty of time to get your futures in, season awards, division titles, whatever it is, win totals. It is all available for you right now, as well as the week 1. And even if you want to look ahead, maybe you got a great feeling on one of those week 2 games, you can do that as well. Do not miss out on your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with our promo code 1620 and make every moment more this year with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Previously on the crossover.
Nick, what the hell?
I'm busy. I'm busy
on Sundays.
I'm busy.
This is pathetic.
Nick, how busy were you?
Laundry. I had so much laundry yesterday.
Okay, you're watching TV. You don't stand there and watch the laundry, do you? My God. That's pathetic. That's pathetic.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Sunny and pleasant with the temperatures in the 80s into this evening. Clear and cool tonight. Again, we'll drop back into the upper 50s for a low. Mostly sunny on Wednesday. Highs will be in the upper 80s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
It happens every day, and homeowners are victims every time, unless they call us. Hi, this is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing. Recently, a local homeowner with an aging roof had two well-known roofing companies out. Neither found hail damage for an insurance claim, but both happily submitted bids for a new roof. Then the homeowner called Shamrock Roofing. We found significant hail damage and sat with the homeowner when he filed his claim. We were there again when the insurance adjuster came out. And when the insurance company tried to deny the claim, the homeowner appealed with his evidence from Shamrock. The insurance company then approved the full claim for a new roof. Shamrock Roofing helped the homeowner get his roof when the other roofing companies could not. That is exactly why we say call Shamrock Roofing first, especially if you're wondering about possible wind or hail damage. If you have it, we'll find it. One call does it all. Call Shamrock Roofing today or find us online at shamrockroofer.com.
Shingles add beauty, protection, and value to your home. You want CertainTeed shingles. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is a certified CertainTeed shingle master. When it comes to your roof, CertainTeed shingles and Carp's have you covered. Online at carpsomaha.com.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan. How can I help?
Hi, thanks for telling my family and me about Toyota's national sales event. We got a new RAV4 during the event, and it's been great.
Well, that makes me happy. Right now through September 6th, it is the best time to drive off in a new Camry Hybrid, Tacoma, and more. So what are you up to?
You know, we took the RAV4 to a great spot, and now we're exploring a cave.
Amazing.
Yeah, my wife talked me into spelunking. I'm actually a complete and absolute amateur. Huh, I could have done without the echo on that.
Toyota's national sales event is on. Visit your participating Toyota dealer today to enjoy every last second of summer. Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 6th.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi includes advanced security to help protect all your connected devices. You'll get real-time alerts. Oh, like this one, so you don't have to worry about malware. Or when your kid downloads a song from a shady link. And now all your computer can play is
red color, where are you?
all blocked, thanks to advanced security, included with Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi. Advanced security must be enabled in the Panoramic Wi-Fi app. Restrictions apply.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now, 402-671-7777.
The passion and excitement of high school football continues every week, and the High School Football Update covers it all every Saturday morning. Join veteran sportscasters Jim Kelter and Torrey Pantalian Saturday mornings 8 to 10 on 1180 The Zone.
Dingman's Mechanical Repair. We would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
I don't need a vibe, I need bacon.
Vibe won't fill my stomach. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Here's a story of a man named Brunsey who covers Husker sports, boys and girls, like football and basketball, even weightlifting, like front squats and curls. Then one day, good old Brunsey called a talk show, and acting on what they thought was a hunch, John and Josh wanted to start a family. And now we get to talk to Michael Brunts. It's Michael Brunts. Michael Brunts. Now we get to talk to Michael Brunts.
Back from Ireland, ladies and gentlemen, back in the States, and probably still trying to get on Central Daylight Time. The Michael Brunts of the Husker247.com. Hello, Brunsey.
Brunts!
How's it going?
Good.
Not bad.
How's America?
just as I remember it.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you notice the lack of trucks while you were over in Ireland?
Oh, good grief.
I actually saw one while I was over there.
Oh, nice.
I did see one. So yeah, surprisingly. I actually took a picture of it. But
awesome.
Yeah, there's one there at least.
Awesome. There's at least one.
Well, I think everybody just shares it.
Yeah, please tweet it out so we can all share with the friends of the program. Of course, today Frost had his press conference today because of the travel coming back, so it's a little different week timing than we're normal to. But one of the themes today, one of the big themes, and we've already covered it, was this. The comment after the game where they needed to be more creative, and Frost walking that back today, seemingly. What did you think in the moment when it was said, and then how it was explained today? And is this a lingering problem?
Honestly, like in the moment, I didn't. It didn't really register with me, and maybe that's when you're in a press conference setting, you're doing other things kind of and kind of zoning in and out a little bit. But when I went back and listened to it, it seemed like a little bit of a criticism. I mean, if you want to kind of look at it through that lens, I don't know that he was wrong. I mean, I think one of my takeaways, especially from kind of watching that game back a second time, was just the lack of times that Nebraska tried to stress Northwestern on the edge with the running game. I was really surprised by that. I think Anthony Grant ran hard enough. I thought he looked pretty good. I would have liked to have seen A.J. Allen a little bit more in space and on the edge, or Ramir Johnson would be another good a good person to maybe try out there. I think that is a valid critique of the game that was called on Saturday. Was it just seemed like, especially as the game kind of wore on, it was just a lot of turning and handing the ball off and running right into the middle of the line. So, we'll see if they kind of, adjust with that. I mean, I even thought that there was a lot of rushing yards to be had by Casey Thompson if he just kept the ball on some of those read plays. I mean, there was ample space. So we'll see if that changes. But yeah, I mean, I guess he kind of walked that back a little bit, but I think the point remains that you do have to probably have a little bit more in your playbook than what they showed against a team like Northwestern.
What did you think of the run-pass ratio Bruns, 42 passes, 31 runs, and of course a couple of those runs were are sacks. So they were actually, I think they dropped back like 45 times. What did you think of that ratio?
Yeah, it's about what we kind of talked about preseason, right? It felt like one of those games that as it dragged along that it was going to have to be won by Casey Thompson passing it, but obviously the second half that he had didn't lend itself to that. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't think that Nebraska was getting a ton of movement up front against Northwestern's defense. So I think Mark Whipple kind of leaned on what he does, and that's throwing the ball. I mean, I was some of the I guess personnel I was a little intrigued by as that game wore on, but that's kind of what his MO has been throwing the ball when the chips are down, and that's what they were going to do. So I think we kind of saw that you're going to have to lean a lot on a very small group of wide receivers, I think, to get big plays there.
Michael Bruns, Husker247.com. Speaking of personnel, early on in camp, it seemed as if Gabe Ervin was neck and neck with Anthony Grant. Was that a misread on our part, or did something happen over the last month or maybe a couple of weeks that led him to ride the bench the entire game?
I don't know. I mean, I think, Jack Yant, I know, kind of came on a little bit stronger as fall camp went on, and that was something that we kind of heard over the last maybe week and a half of fall camp. He was, kind of pressing the issue a little bit at that running back spot. Gabe Ervin, early on, I think that was when he kind of had a lot of juice behind him, but we'll see if they use him a little bit more. I mean, it sounded like today Scott Frost wants to see him a little bit. Ramir Johnson was the one that, was a little bit more difficult to kind of square with everything because, we were kind of led to believe that this is was going to be like a carved out special role for him. I mean, maybe he did kind of take a step backwards because he was splitting time between, two positions. But, he's the kind of guy, I think, that you need to get in space and get on the edges because it just seemed like, if it wasn't, Casey Thompson throwing the ball, you were going to be kind of hard pressed to find, the big plays. So both of those guys, it seems like the next two games would be a great opportunity to get them in there and see what they can do. But, I think with the running back rotation, I think there's still a little bit of sorting out that's taking place there and maybe trying to figure out if certain guys fit in better roles. I mean, we saw Yant down around the goal line again, and that still doesn't look like a very good picture in year two.
Bruns, going into the season, going into the game in general, we all had talked about the run defense and especially the interior of the defensive line, though I would venture to guess that not a whole lot of us saw this performance by this team, at least in Northwestern, coming. I definitely would say that nobody saw what happened in the pass game coming as well. Which of those two things was the bigger concern, big picture for the rest of the year for you?
Well, I mean, one kind of leads into the other. If you're not able to consistently stop the run in the Big Ten, you're not going to be able to consistently, get after quarterbacks in this league. And I was, just kind of overall, it felt from the get-go that Nebraska's defense was just playing on its heels. I never felt like that the defense was the one kind of forcing the issue with Northwestern, and that was what surprised me a little bit. Was even as Helinski kind of stood back there and kind of picked Nebraska apart, and I think they called a pretty good game, but it didn't ever really seem like Nebraska was going to bring an extra guy or really kind of try to make him uncomfortable. I think Northwestern's offensive line is improved from what we saw last year, but I don't know that Nebraska really played and called defense with much aggressiveness there. So the depth up front is still a concern. That was a concern in the spring. It was a concern this summer. And I think, if you're having to rely on Ty Robinson to play 70 snaps a game and Colton Feast to play that many, it's going to be a really long season. But I was also surprised that, the pass rush wasn't there and just didn't really seem like Nebraska was willing to kind of lean on the guys that we were told were, the kind of difference makers on defense in fall camp.
Scott Frost today did not allude to any issues physically with Casey Thompson, but certainly there was a change in his performance from the first 2.5 quarters to the end of the game when, he went 6 for his last 14. As you watched the game or, just anything that you're hearing, behind the scenes in the locker room, do you have concerns that maybe Thompson took a hit or something happened to him mechanically that caused the issues late in the game?
We'll see kind of how things come out this Saturday. I mean, I haven't been told that was the case, that, he was really fighting something. But, I think, one thing that definitely happened was I think they missed Travis Vokalek a ton because that is a guy that's basically his safety blanket. And, I think we had kind of assumed that there was a little bit of depth at the tight end spot, but I mean, when you go from Vokalek to some of those other guys that really haven't played a ton, I mean, that's a pretty big drop off right now. I think that hurt him. I think, just the inability to run the ball at all didn't help. So I don't know if it seemed like he was pressing a little bit to me as well, just as that game kind of went along. So, I don't know about the physical part of it, but I do think that, I know Frost said it didn't hurt him that much today with Vokalek going out, but it really felt like it did to me, especially, he was doing some work in the running game as a blocker too. And I think they missed that late in the game.
Michael Bruntz, Husker247.com. Brunsey, great to have you back.
Yes.
Thanks again for joining us last week with the weird timing and all, and we'll see you Saturday up in DeBoof.
Sounds good. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Michael Bruntz.
That's right. You'll be there.
Yeah. I want.
Rather than be square, you'll be there.
I'll be there. I don't have to
I'll
do
be there the
overreaction.
next week.
I don't have to do overreaction.
You know
Being
what,
a geek?
I can't. Oh, I'll be a geek. All right. I can't wait. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang out in the TV booth. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to say, my view from the office. I can't wait.
Oh, Josh.
Great idea.
I can't wait. My view from the office.
Who do we credit for the
GIF?
The GIF, Josh.
GIF. That would be
GIF.
Dan. Not that Dan, but a guy named Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Oh, play that again? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, if you're watching along in the stream, Dan has created a GIF of Frost's smiling face on the body of Tony the Tiger, the mascot of Sugar Frosted Takes. And he's shrugging his shoulders.
I love the
to which I added they're close.
Well, you added that? I didn't miss that. Oh, yeah. Play it again.
Well, I didn't add it. I didn't add it to. I didn't play it. It's not in the video. It's in a GIF.
Okay.
It's in a GIF. But we need to find someone.
They're close. Well, we have the guy. Is he here? Is he gone? He's probably gone, huh? For the day. The guy that we want to do they're close.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's in bed. Well, he's probably in line at the buffet right now.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
he's a Hall of Famer.
He's gone long before.
He's a Hall of Famer.
I want to read this email from Eric in Fremont. He says Casey was hurt on the high five after the crazy play throw. Watch the replay. You don't want to talk about that on air. That's on you. His right hand is hurt, and I could read between your lines. We talked about it yesterday.
Well, here's the video.
Yeah.
If you're watching it on the stream.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. We're not hiding
This was
behind it.
after the scramble play.
Yeah. I was told for the record he's not hurt. I was told that. I've been told that by multiple people over because I've asked as many of the people that I trust on this situation. They say he's fine.
So for those on the radio not watching along the video, so it's Thompson is celebrating the big play. It was the one where he scrambled like Fran Tarkenton and threw down the field to Garcia Castaneda, and Marcus Washington greets him and slaps high five, but
more of the workload.
Weird. Sorry, wrong highlight there. He slaps him high five. Now Thompson's turning away. He doesn't actually see it.
He doesn't see it coming.
But he's leaving his passing hand closed in a fist, and the high five actually kind of slaps him high on the wrist. And that's what people are saying is an example that he is hurt. But again, Thompson is spun away from his teammate and actually doesn't see the high five coming. So it's not like he wasn't reaching out to accept it.
Well, I don't think that's the part of the story that people care about. They're worried that he got hurt.
Right, but people are using this as the example that he is hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Well, I'm confused about why you're talking about how he didn't see it. As
He didn't see the high. So he doesn't reach out to do the slap.
Yeah.
Because he spun around. So
Eric is saying that's when he got hurt. He's saying that's the play that he got hurt on the high five. That's what Eric is saying.
He got hurt on the high five.
That's what people think. They think he got. Yeah, I was confused as your angle.
Yeah, well,
they think this is what actually hurt him because he, like you said, he didn't see it coming. They think that he got hurt. But again, for the record, I have asked people because I'm like, what happened? And they're like, he's not hurt. He's not hurt.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not. It's that they think he got hurt.
So
they think that because he didn't
they thought
see it
that
coming.
slapping him high on the wrist got him hurt.
Screwed up his hand because that's his throwing hand. Obviously, he screwed up his thumb. Yeah.
Are these the same people who are mad about players being soft?
No, look, Nick, for a while, I thought that was the case. His
Yeah?
numbers after that play are horrible. I thought that he hurt his thumb on that play.
Right, and I'd have to go back and watch, but
because afterwards, and I don't have the video, maybe I can find it. He does with the next time they show him, he was kind of shaking his hand, and so I was like, oh, maybe he got hurt. But again, I asked a lot of people, and they said no, he's fine.
Okay.
Which, in a way, kind of sucks because it's oh wait, so he was just bad then after that? It's kind of because he was sailing passes after that.
Right.
His worst throws of
I'd have to go back and watch again and watch that last
Brad, his wrist isn't hurt. Good. How's this jaw? He doesn't have lupus. I can say that now.
Coming up, Frost did talk about another player who was mentioned in our last segment there with Brunsey, Vokalek, and his status. Because, listen, injury, no injury, whatever. Losing Travis Vokalek hurt bad last week. It was obvious.
Yeah.
It hurt bad last week. What is his status? More on that. And another stat that's just going to make you shake your
Not
head.
again.
And Mike Farron coming up on 1620 The Zone.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours, Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, only on 1620 The Zone.
Here are your 3 Chop House cheeseburgers. Enjoy your Sonic.
Do you think they need to bring them to us on a fancy tray like the?
I think like a platter.
We need a maitre d'.
Yes, Joffrey, I'll take another, please.
Heavy on the Chop House, please. An aioli.
Elevate your taste buds with the all-new Sonic Chop House cheeseburger, decadently layered with crispy onion strings and covered in a creamy Chop House aioli. For a limited time, only at Sonic. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Want to know what makes 42 Degrees the source for Kratom, CBD, Delta, and a whole lot more that might be helpful with sore muscles, aching joints, and other ailments? Then stop by any 42 Degree location, talk with the most knowledgeable and friendly staff, and see what Kratom, CBD, and Delta can do for you. Want to know more? Then go to our website, 42degrees.com, and see what our customers say about our staff. 42 Degrees, your source for all your needs. By your mom's house.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Celebrate Septemberfest, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 5th, outside the CHI Center. There are games, carnival rides, and food, plus clowns, robots, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club, boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest at CHI Center, Lot D. Click SeptemberFestOmaha.org for times and parking info.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We continue to grow and add new customers. Many employers are looking for new ideas for their staff as people return to the office. Our pantry service is a great office amenity for staff and guests. Fresh food, snacks, coffee, water, and other beverages for employees and guests. Enhance your office experience with pantry service from Host Coffee. Learn more at hostcoffee.net.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Oh, here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Mike Farron coming up.
Oh, do we really want to have him on?
We got to finish it.
First of all, he's going to
We're
talk
talking
about
baseball.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
And
problem.
we're moving on to North Dakota.
Does he have the stream link, by the way?
Yes, I sent it to him.
So that's the first problem. We got to talk baseball. Problem A. Problem B is he's going to gloat. Do you want that negative Nelly on the air?
Negative. He picked 8-4.
But he also picked Northwestern to win.
He's got a higher record than mine.
He's probably going to come on with a cat hat. Not a cat in the hat, but a cat hat.
He's going to read to us.
I do like reading.
Well, there you go.
Hey, Gorbachev died.
Gorbabov?
Yeah, Gorbabov.
I thought he was already dead.
I did too. Russian news reports say that former Soviet president.
I thought he's been dead for a hot minute.
He is. Well, now he has been, Nick.
Of all the Russian presidents.
Yeah, I know, right? Why couldn't it have been the other one?
I told you there was a stat that, it's going to blow your mind.
Oh, here we go.
ESPN
More negative
stats
town.
and info. Before the onside kick, Nebraska had, thank you, Matthew Richard Schick.
Oh, he's a Colorado grad.
Well, we just had a Missouri grad on.
Jeez, so much negative town.
Negative
boys. The negative boys.
Nebraska, 88% chance of an in-game win probability at the time of the onside kick. This was the seventh time Nebraska lost a game under Scott Frost when it had at least an 80% chance to win at some point. And it's the fourth time in the last 9 games.
9 games.
The other games under Frost.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun list.
Of course, 2018 Northwestern.
Oh, God.
The game where they got backed up to the 1 yard line.
That's an underrated, horrible game in this era.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible game.
97%. Last year against Iowa, 95%.
You and I were there.
2019 at Colorado. You and I were there. 94%.
I'm sensing a pattern, fellas.
Hey, we weren't at the first one he mentioned.
This year, Northwestern,
I wasn't there, Nick. I wasn't there.
You weren't in Ireland?
Nope.
2018 Colorado, 87%.
Wasn't there.
Last year, believe it or not, last year at Michigan State, even though they were leading
like 5 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago. That's when the punt happened. That was like 4 minutes ago.
I thought the punt was closer to 2 minutes to go.
I thought it was like 4.
You might be right.
Oh, guys, guess what I can do?
86% chance. And Purdue last year, 80%. Nebraska was at an 80% chance to
That's weird.
That must have been at halftime.
Which is nuts to think that they.
Because usually you don't, and usually you don't get a probability that high at halftime.
Stupid computer. What are you gonna do, Nick?
There's no hope. Everything. Go Big Red.
I haven't watched it, but that guy, because he runs Corn Nation, the video he did this time was from his bathroom, I think, and he said to fire Scott Frost. Speaking of fire Scott Frost, Ian tweets in on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. I swear I wasn't even trying to transition. Says, I've been a supporter of Frost until Saturday. After processing the loss, I came to the conclusion that he is a group of 5 coach. The onside decision is exactly why I used to love Maction. Damn. Decisions like that work in the MAC, not in the Big Ten. You know, speaking of Schick,
I don't think decisions like that. Decisions like that embody what has been wrong in this program. And by the way, Frost went there again today when talking about what's going to bring them back.
And we don't have the audio. We need to get it. Though I guess by tomorrow we're moving on to next week.
Moving on. We're on to Cincinnati, North Dakota.
They had this on the Schick and Nick pod yesterday. So in the post-game radio hit that Frost does with Greg Sharp,
yes,
he said that they had a decision going into the game. This was a part of their game plan. That if they got up 2 scores, so they scored a touchdown to go up 2 scores, that they were going to kick it onside.
Well, that was the second time they went up 2 scores. They didn't do it the first time.
That's true. So I don't know if it was if only in the second half situation. My guess is that, given what he said in the postgame. So I know there's been all these conspiracy theories and who really called it. I have long been in the camp of he definitely called it because he threw Whipple under the bus. Like he throws people under the bus. He took ownership of it because it actually was his decision. So I think that was their decision. And I'm with you. The funny thing is, do I think it was a dumb decision? Definitely. I have not gotten anywhere near worked up about it as a lot of other people have. I think that the defense is still the thing that
but again, the reason I got worked up about it wasn't so much the play. It was the thought process and the mentality behind it.
Yeah. Well, again, it was a part of their game plan.
Exactly. But it embodies a coach who does not recognize what his team is or needs to be.
Yeah, that's why I'm so sick
of that continues to say culture, culture, culture. Guess what he said today? Do I have this one where here it is? Ask today, hey,
why are they going to be okay?
Why are you going to be okay?
This is the best locker room and culture we've had, the tightest team we've had in the building. Everybody's excited, disappointed, but excited. We know we got to get it done this year as a staff, the team, but that doesn't matter. I want this for the kids, and we got a great bunch of kids that believe in themselves right now and feel like they have a lot to prove.
Culture, 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 culture. There's a reason why you're 15-30, and it ain't because of referees or bad luck.
It was a running back who got, the other thing too, I don't know if you heard this audio, but Fitz, he said that they worked on onside kicks last week and that it just happened that is where their kicker had been kicking them to.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God. And I think he was working with them as well. Like he was, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up next, we'll change subjects. Don't worry, Pudgy or whatever your name is on Twitter. We're moving on.
Pudgy.
No, that's his handle.
R.I.P.
That's his. No, it's handle. No, not that
body
Pudgy.
shame.
Not that
John.
Pudgy.
No.
That's
What
his
Pudgy?
handle.
Who's this Pudgy?
This person that was saying we need to move on to North Dakota. That's his Twitter.
I think his name is Zach.
Whatever.
Zach.
Wow. Pudgy.
Mike Farron is
that is
coming
his
up
handle.
next on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Got a couple crashes to avoid this afternoon. Heads up of a wreck on southbound 20th Street just past Q Street. Also got a wreck on the exit ramp from westbound I-80 to Highway 370. Looks like about a 3 to 5 minute delay on southbound JFK from F Street to I-80 with traffic down to just one lane. And a couple minute delay for both directions on Highway 275 between Center and 165th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Everyone knows Saul's pays top dollar for your gold, but Saul's pays cash on the spot for your precious metals too. Silver, gold, platinum, coins, bars. Who wants to wait to get paid? Get to Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Saul's Jewelry and Loan. You'll find it all at Saul's Jewelry.
Ted Wally's. Squeeze every last bit of flavor out of summer than you can with a spoonful of creamy, delicious Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. If you're in Benson, swing in for pints, quarts, or half gallons of Ted Wally's to take home. Or if you're in the old market, taking your senior photos or maybe just kind of hanging out, slip in to Ted Wally's for a tasty treat after the photo session. There's still plenty of summer left. Enjoy it with rich, creamy flavors of Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream in Benson, the old market, and at tedwallys.com.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Mike Farron, Sirius XM MLB Network Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, now singing the Mike Farron Open, it's Mike Stibbs.
Just make sure it sounds sexy, Stibbs.
Lord Almighty, how can you stand Arizona? Your fair skin must be burning down into your absent soul. Mike, 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 we can barely hear you. It sounds to me like you called us from inside a hole. But your phone calls lift me higher, like the ERA of Mark Pryor. Your hair looks like it's on fire. You're Mike Farron.
All right, let us have it.
Have what?
I'll remind you before you get into any mockery, you picked them to go 8-4.
And lose to Northwestern.
And lose to Northwestern.
I don't know if you know this, Mike, but people are not very happy about losing to Northwestern, a team they beat by 49 points last year.
You know who's happy about them losing to Northwestern?
You.
This guy.
Wow.
Never, ever. You should know that you should never bet against a Pat Fitzgerald team in Ireland. Like he's undefeated there.
The Gambling Manifesto. I forgot to look at the next page. It was on the next page.
You know what it was? We didn't talk about
Manifesto.
this. It was the obvious pandering. Remember the helmets with the Irish flag logo?
That's right. They had the luck of the Irish.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. What do you think about that Irish accent there, Mike? The luck
That
of the
was pretty
Irish.
terrible. Can I just say a couple things? I want to remind you that I did pick them to go 8-4, but to basically have a plus 16 point differential in those games and to have a -1 on the season because they're going to get smoked in their losses, which means that they're not actually going to be as good as what their record says, which means that the extension is going to make everybody miserable. That's the one thing that I want to clarify in that. And two, the other
specific,
but they lost by 3. That wasn't a blowout, Mike.
Well, yeah, but I mean to the good teams. Listen, I'm not a fool. I know that Northwestern is not picked to win the Big Ten this year.
That's true.
It's when they face Wisconsin and lose by 40. That's when so that's one of it too. I really was enjoying Josh's Twitter feed. And the guy who told you that, bro, you've never been part of a brotherhood.
How great was
why
that?
are you being negativity? I was like, that guy has literally never played a sport in his life.
Yeah, it's about the brotherhood, bro. Yeah, okay.
Brotherhood. What
It's
brotherhood?
Because they keep losing. God.
You're not going to ever be a part of any brotherhood. Well, I shouldn't say that, but he's not going to be a part of any brotherhood that involves sports, nor has he ever been that was tremendous. I'm sure that the phone calls were great.
We were on for 3 hours. That was a great.
I was able to mow my entire lawn, trim it, come back inside, enjoy an ice cold beer, and they were still talking.
He sent me a DM. You're still on?
I figured, judging from your cap, John, it was an ice cold Monster energy drink, the official energy drink of Creighton Athletics and
NASCAR.
NASCAR
It's a NASCAR
1620 The Zone. Is this one of those product placement things Stacy's been working on?
I think Stibbs' dad got it.
Yeah,
for
this
us.
is a Stibbs' dad gift.
Yeah, I think I threw mine away.
Wow.
Or donated it. I don't know. I don't want her.
It's a nice hat. It's a decent
Yes, it's
hat,
very
you know?
nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Monster, for sponsoring the program today. So we got a big series this week in baseball. Maybe a preview.
You stole my question about the Dodgers and Mets.
There's more.
Okay. I'll ask a follow-up, Mike.
Now, the Dodgers are still 7.5 games up when it comes to best record as they visit the Mets this week. How much do you think can be gleaned from this series in terms of what it might mean for October?
Absolutely nothing.
That's what I thought you'd say.
It really is a brand.
I mean, it's just like okay, it's cool to have the two best teams in the league facing each other. Like, that's great. I think it'll be a fun series. The biggest things I would glean out of it is if Kershaw goes on Thursday, how he looks, how healthy he is. I think that would be something that would be interesting. I mean, I am interested to see how Tyler Anderson handles a good lineup like the Mets have. But, like Urias isn't going in this series. Dustin May, who probably is one of their playoff starters, isn't going in this series. So I don't think you necessarily are going to glean too much from it. And, listen, DeGrom is going tomorrow, right? It's always fun to see DeGrom pitch.
Yep.
And to see him compete against the top lineup like the Dodgers will be a lot of fun. And, we'll see. I think the Mets may have a little bit of a pitching advantage right now in the head-to-head there, but I don't think that necessarily means anything, and I wouldn't put too much stock in whatever happens. If one of the teams sweeps the other, it doesn't mean anything for the postseason, other than the fact that if the Mets got swept and the Braves were playing well this week, then that would reduce their lead in the division.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers are 21 games up in the loss column on San Diego. They have a magic number of 15. It's August 30th. Like nothing really matters.
Well, let's project a little bit here because Gonsolin just went on the IL with a forearm strain. Of course, Kershaw, you never know what Kershaw is going to be come October. Do you think the easy answer today, if you had to project, is you rely on that bullpen depth, or is there another answer to the Dodgers rotational question? Should they be short come October?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really fair to ask because, it's not like Kershaw hasn't had injuries in the past, right?
Exactly.
And with Gonsolin, while they're not doing an MRI or anything and they don't seem overly concerned, if he did have a little bit of soreness, it could push it back. So, I think you're looking then at a postseason rotation that's probably Urias, who's your number one anyway. Anderson, May are probably your next two. I don't know that they would. I would be it'd be dicey to use Ryan Pepio, I think, in a postseason start just because of his issues with walks. But yeah, I think if you end up starting to get a little thinner in the rotation, then absolutely it calls into questions how the Dodgers can go deeper. But they have a pretty good bullpen. I mean, everybody talks about how the Dodgers bullpen is an issue every year, and yet every year they lead the league in ERA for the bunch, and they don't get any hard contact, and they should get Blake Trinan back here, which is going to help. So, Kimbrel's, I think, a question because he just keeps adding base runners, but I think by the time you get down the last couple of weeks of the season and into the postseason, if Kimbrel doesn't have it figured out, doesn't dominate going into the playoffs, I don't think he's going to be in that role. I think they will go to other pitchers in that. So, they've been through it before where they've had to mix and match. And so I'm not really all that concerned about them. And I do think at least one of those guys in Kershaw or Gonsolin, if not both, are going to be available to them in the postseason anyway.
Mike, kind of a serious follow-up to what John asked you a couple of minutes ago about, like, what can we glean from this series? Like, do you approach that at all with anything else that we'll see in September, or just given what you've said over the years about the postseason and how random it can be, that, like, there's not going to be anything predictive unless there's some sort of like an injury or something?
Yeah, I think that those are the bigger picture things, right? Like, so injury, or, all of a sudden a pitcher adds a new pitch, or there's a big swing adjustment and somebody starts to go off. I think those are kind of the things rather than the regular ebbs and flows of performance that you would maybe put a little bit more into in October. Like the Dodgers are a really good example of this, right? They've had seasons where they have dominated going into the postseason and made an early exit. And then they had 2017 where they were terrible in September and went to Game 7 of the World Series before losing to that infamous Astros team. So, I just don't think it really, like, would you feel better about yourself if you were playing well going into October? Yeah, absolutely you would. But in the end, it's just those individual matchups in 3, 5, 7 game series that matter in the end. And the rest of it is noise that's fun and entertaining, but it's just none of this is a real predictor of what's going to happen in the postseason.
Do you like that about the sport of Major League Baseball? Like, for example, I know some NFL fans get really mad when like a 6 seed goes on a run in the playoffs because they were not the best team in the regular season. Like, do you like that it is not predictive, that it makes the regular season one beast and the postseason another beast?
Yeah, I actually do. I think if anything, we do a poor job. And in fact, I was having this conversation last night with somebody at the ballpark. We do a poor job of recognizing the teams that are the regular season champions, when that's the real challenge, right? Is how are you the best every day for 8 months?
Right.
Tournaments are tournaments, right? Like, we see this in the NCAAs, and obviously it's a little different in baseball than it is in, NCAA basketball or in football, and that they're not, single game eliminations. But, baseball, there's a higher degree of randomness. Home field advantage doesn't matter as much, at least from the research and data, as it does in football or basketball. And so it's a little even playing field. And, like, good teams lose to bad teams in 3-game sets all the time. In fact, good teams get swept by bad teams all the time. So I think you have to view it as two different beasts. I think the way you said it, Josh, is right. Like, it's the regular season, right? That's the grind. That's the 6 months. That's every day. And then it's a tournament. And, the winner of the tournament isn't necessarily the best team. It's the team that played their opponents the best over the course of that month.
So you're saying maybe be like hockey, you give out a trophy for the regular season.
Yeah, what would we call
President's
it?
Cup.
Yeah.
The President's Cup.
Well, they need another piece of metal.
The
yeah.
the Commissioner's Cup.
You know what? We can name it after the commish.
Rob Manfred.
Which one?
The Manfred Trophy.
Oh,
the Manfred Cup.
I'm kind of surprised he hasn't done this yet. This seems like one of those wacky ideas that Rob Manfred would do.
And forget about a trophy or a cup or a plaque or anything. It can be just a golden golf club.
Wacky is not the word that I would use to describe Rob Manfred.
What word would you use?
Lawyerly.
Yeah, that would be yes,
one.
lawyerly, I think, is the absolute right word. I believe that he would probably agree that is a fair assessment of who he is.
Speaking of lawyerly,
nice.
Something on the lines of legal.
I think you're thinking of Orally. It's a song.
That one went over my head.
Same, but it was funny. Maybe he laughed the way he said it.
Because you just said orally.
Orally. Never mind.
The MLBPA.
Your toothbrush here. Oh, it's Oral B. Sorry.
The Players Association extending membership to minor league players. How does this change the business of the game if it goes
Well,
forward?
if it happens, it's going to have a pretty significant impact on it. I mean, the TLDR on it is that
Too long didn't read for you, John.
That's what that means.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what that
You didn't
I
know
didn't
that?
know that's what that meant.
Do you know what TIL means?
Today I learned.
Today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
TIL, TLDR.
TLDR.
You should tweet that out.
What did you think TLDR meant?
I
Toddler?
thought it was just a bunch of people, you know. I thought it was a Jack Mitchellism where he's just randomly typing and he misspells a bunch of crap.
Yeah, he's too busy predicting 10 wins for Nebraska.
Got him.
So the TLDR on it is wages for minor league players, the vast majority of who don't get a major bonus, are not that much different than they were 40, 45, 50 years ago. And so the idea is that the Players Association would create basically a separate leadership, separate collective bargaining agreement that players would agree to with Major League Baseball that would, in essence, get them paid more fairly. And when I say more fairly, it's they get paid for 5 months out of the year right now, or 6. I mean, most of the seasons are going now to the end of September, so it's almost 6. But it's about $1,500 a month. They don't get paid for spring training. They don't get paid for anything in the off season. They have to work off season jobs. And if you're, somebody who didn't get several $1 million in a bonus, it makes it very difficult to live on. And so even though your job is full time in essence for those 6 months, and you're supposed to be working on your craft in the full time for 4.5 of the months that you are not playing, you're not getting compensated for it. So I think that's where most of it is. And really in the end, if you're to pay, say, take all those guys that are making $8,000 a year, $10,000 a year, and up it so that they're making 60. It sounds like a lot, and it's a lot across the industry, but it probably works out to about $4 or $5 million a team. And so it's something that ownership is going to fight because rich people don't like to spend their money unless they have to. And it has a chance to change the structure, not just of the minor leagues, but of player performance. And I think there probably are going to be some owners that, if in fact union certification does happen, that are probably going to piece out of the business because they see it as an added cost that they don't want to incur. So all of those things are things that are possible to happen over the course of the next, what I would assume is several years. I talked to an agent yesterday who said the earliest it would happen would be by next spring, 7 months down the line, but it's more likely with legal challenges and whatnot being 2 to 3 years down the road that this would actually happen. So they're only 36 hours into this process now, so there's a lot of work to do.
You have always been one who is not just married to tradition, doing things because they've always been done that way. But
yes, because I'm married to Erica.
Well, that's
my
wife.
But is there at least just a little part of you that is sad that starting next year, every team is going to play every team in Major League Baseball?
No, I'm not at all. I think it's more fair, so for as much as I think there are issues with having 40% of the teams in the league in a postseason, the fact that you're going to play 3-game series in that opening round, and the fact that next year the schedule is going to be more balanced, does add an element of fairness to it too, so that your opponents at least look largely similar outside your division. I think it's the right thing to do. I think it makes sense. And I think it's the next step in eliminating the traditional leagues, which is likely coming when expansion happens, whenever that is. When they get to 32 teams, I think you're going to see a much more regional structure. I think you're going to see the traditional leagues change. I think you're going to see 16 playoff teams in total. I think all of those things are things that are going to happen, down the line. But I'm not. This is not a one-off to me. I mean, we've had interleague play for 25 years, and we've also
97, right?
I think it was before that. Was
94? Was it 94?
I thought it was 94.
Wikipedia says 1997. Whoa, baseball.
97.
That's when I was born.
So 25 years. So yeah, I mean,
on the dot.
The world will continue to spin on its axes.
What a cool logo! Look at how cool.
I
is
know
that
was a cool logo. The
Bring that back.
The birds fighting
Yeah, that's
over the
sweet.
ball. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Real quick, around the room before we get to the final chapter.
Dodgers.
The final chapter of the Adventures of Scott Frost. You can choose three things. Judge reaches 61.
This is a fun question.
He hit 50 last night.
Yeah.
61 for Judge, 700 for Pujols, or both. Which is most likely of those three?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, what do you want to see?
No. Which one is most likely? Nick.
Pujols.
Judge.
Mike.
I think Judge is most likely, but
I would say both. I think both will happen.
That would be pretty cool.
I think 700 is a monster number. So there are a lot of people in baseball that are less concerned with 700 and more concerned with 697 for Albert, because then it puts him ahead of A-Rod on the list. And I think that's kind of, like, to me, that's a little bit stupid. One, I think it just brings unnecessary attention to everybody's least favorite television analyst. And two, like the guys who've gotten to 700 are Ruth, Aaron, and Bonds. That's it. Right? Those are the only ones.
Someday show
and Pujols deserves to be in that circle, And we, like, the other thing is that if we hadn't had the COVID year of 2020, we'd be talking about Ruth running or Pujols running down Babe Ruth for third on the all-time list, right? Instead of just trying to get to 700.
That's true.
So to me, I think there is significance in him getting to 700 home runs. I think there's more significance in him getting to 700 than there is to Judge getting to 61, which would tie the Yankee record, and then leads to a whole nother round of but my steroids. And I just Barry Bonds hit 73 homers. It's in the record book. Stuff it.
Yeah.
I
watched him break the record. I was watching live.
Ooh, when
Bonds. I wasn't watching live for McGuire though, because my parents made me go to bed. That's Mike. Maybe that's why I don't.
Early in the evening when McGuire.
I know it happened.
Baron,
what did you do to have to get forced to bed?
Here's the worst part. My parents are like, "Hey, Josh, come out now and watch the celebration."
Yeah.
Oh, thanks,
Watch
Mom
him
and Dad.
hug Roger Maris's grandkids.
Bring me out 5 seconds ago. I hope my mom's listening. I'm still mad about this. Gosh.
Do you
they did the same thing for the 01 World Series. Go to bed. Oh, hey, the Diamondbacks won. Come downstairs.
Josh's mom, do you think Josh would be a bigger baseball fan if you would let him watch those seminal moments? Maybe I have you to blame.
Yeah, think about
his lousy participation in this segment, Josh's mom.
Thank you. Yeah. They didn't make me go to bed during Super Bowls.
Poor Josh's mom just getting raked over the coals.
I like my mom a lot. I love my mom, in fact, but God.
I like my mom a lot. That's what you've got? I like my mom a lot.
I like my mom a lot.
That should be on a greeting card. Nickelback. This is your mom.
Josh's greeting cards. I like my mom a lot.
They're in the 4-3. I like mom a lot on the outside, but
my mom pretty cool.
Man, I'm gonna get grounded for this, and I don't even live there.
Totally
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to wrap this bad boy up.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow, a reading rainbow.
I think we left off at the part where Nebraska was up by 11 and Scott Frost was like, surprise onside.
Go for the jugular.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the sequel coming out next year by the Omaha.
By the way, can I tell you that the favorite part of that open is the scowling Scott Frost face. It just looks so.
It is my favorite picture of him.
Did we leave there? I don't know what to do. Is that where we left off, Mike?
That is. Pat Clark, television anchor in Orlando,
what a
asked an innocent question of Scott Clark. Or sorry, I'm sorry, Scott Clark, Scott Frost, and he says, "I don't know what to do." So we'll pick it up there for the end here. Somebody hold up the pictures.
Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
All right.
Rick's funny. Frost is torn between the pros and cons of staying at UCF or returning to Nebraska. If I stay, I'll bawl like a baby. If I go, I'll bawl like a baby. Later that day, with both contracts on his desk, Frost makes his choice and tells an elated Tom Osborne, I'm coming.
Oh, so she said.
On the eve of his conference title game, Frost has second thoughts. Tom Osborne offers his advice, tapping into Frost's competitive streak. You're enough of a competitor. You're going to want to play for the whole thing. Was that like using Nebraska as a stepping stone job then to get to someplace that plays for national championships? Or Frost stays the course and then news breaks late in UCF's title game. Minutes later, an interception clinches UCF's overtime win in a perfect season. Frost throws himself into the scrum of celebrating players. He later has to tell them the hard truth. He's returning home to Nebraska. Frost's assistants immediately switch from UCF to Husker gear and head on the road to recruit for Nebraska.
Including Greg Austin.
Frost, Matt Davison, and Frost Chocolate Lab touched down in the middle of the night in Lincoln. Man, he gets his dog on a charter flight. The next day, Frost has an emotional reunion with former Huskers. You made this place special. And he is introduced as Nebraska's new coach. A phone call 3 days later assures Bill Moose that Frost has no misgivings. I'm so happy I took this job. This is going to be special. And boy, was he ever right.
Is that the part that's aged the worst? I'm so happy I took this job.
Sad.
Oh.
That if that's not the please clap finish to this, I don't know what it is.
Go Big Red.
Oh man.
And
who's
now
Nebraska have this
saying,
week? Which directional school are they playing?
It would
North
be North Dakota.
Which direction?
The directional Dakotas.
Yes, it is. It is of the football championship subdivision.
Don't they have two FCS teams on their schedule this year?
Just one this
Just
year.
one.
Who's the one that seems like an FCS team?
Georgia Southern.
Oh, that's right. Wait, they're not a FCS.
They moved
now?
up. They're
moved
the
up.
ones playing in the Braves' old park, Turner Field.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which now
Like-
coached by former USC coach Clay Helton.
That's true.
Oh,
So it'll be like playing a Power 5 team.
Georgia Southern, the alma mater of one of my good friends, the great Todd Green, former College World Series hero.
Oh,
I did not know that. Ed, I did not know that.
wait, Georgia Southern made the College World Series?
I think so.
When was this?
No, really? That does not sound right.
Tough look for
Sure.
John if you're wrong.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, well, I mean, there's a lot of teams that made the
He's
College
the
World
voice
Series.
of the College World
That
Series.
happened
are
before
the-
my
you're-
time.
with
Kevin
You are the
Kugler.
College World Series, John.
When I think College World Series, I think John Bishop.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
By the way, I'm still triggered that
What about the College World Series?
No, we got
It's been over for
We got
months.
the food voucher cards on the
Oh,
last
yeah.
day of the CWS. They don't work anymore.
Oh, they don't?
Yeah, I gave them to my wife to use over at CHI Health Center. They turned them off. Sad.
1990 College World Series. They went twice. They went in the 70s, which
Oh.
is, like that's when everybody went regionally, and they were there in 1990. That's
All
when
right,
Todd Green
remove
was
John
back.
as the
Well, I
voice of
didn't
the
even
College
know.
World
I didn't even know
Series.
Georgia
John.
Southern was a Division
Hang
I
on.
program.
He's the associate voice of the. Didn't Georgia and Southern host a regional this year?
They did this year, but I thought they were new to
They
Division.
were
I.
NAIA in the 60s.
See, that's what I thought. I thought they were still NAIA.
You still thought it
up
was the
until,
60s?
No. I thought they were still like NAIA into the
Didn't
90s.
the gas prices tell you that it wasn't the 60s?
How about John F. Kennedy?
Man, gas prices were crazy
And
during
please,
the College World Series.
Bidenflation.
John is the associate voice of the College World Series. The voice of the College World Series will always be Kevin Kugler,
That's right.
even when he loses his voice.
Wow.
Even when he loses his voice. I lost
You
my-
lost your voice
I
this
did for a
year.
day.
I know.
That thing is just taking people's voices away. I've never
Everybody had to
felt-
bail your lazy backside out.
All right. Well, there you
should
go.
Prepare for that better. All right. And who's Creighton playing in football this week?
Well, they're not going to lose. They haven't lost since World War II.
It's been a long time, man.
So
Very
How about
difficult.
this, though, Mike?
They got that going for them,
in
which is nice.
soccer now, they're a top 10 team.
Are they
Creighton's
really?
7th in the country. They've outscored their first two
They
opponents.
beat the Rutgers.
12-1. They have
Is that
destroyed
men's soccer or women's?
12?
men's
They
soccer.
scored 6 in each match. They killed them. The one on Sunday was a blast.
Okay, well, that's great. So
yeah,
you'll be happy to know that my Laura Stewhawks are at Wisconsin Eau Claire this week for the opener of their season. So
is that Division 3?
Division 3 Rivers Conference. They're in the same conference with Nebraska Wesleyan.
They beat Iowa in baseball last year.
Sure did at a midweek.
That's funny.
Hail Loris Varsity, cheer them along the way. It's a
Isn't that the same tune that you sing to the Northwestern fight
That's
song?
Go You Northwestern.
Oh, that's right. It's the bad grammar.
Which he didn't sing today, which surprised us.
I think we've
Go Cats. They get a bye week. I'll get you back in week 2. Why do they call it week 0? It's the first week of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah,
the first week of the
Thank
season.
you. I agree.
College football's
wholeheartedly.
stupid. That's why. That's why we love it.
That's true. Mike Farron, Sirius XM MLB Radio.
Bye, Mike.
Bye, Mike.
See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
There he is. Mike Farron, everyone. Speaking of Mike Farron, ED meds have been proven to work to fix erectile dysfunction, but those ads don't show you the side effects or the fact. See, I love it because he just dove out. He can't come back and he can't interrupt my spiel about the advanced wave technology at Brookside Medical Clinic, which has been shown by Cambridge University, which Mike also does not sing the fight song properly for, to restore and regrow blood vessels. That helps improve blood flow and restore normal erectile function. No more taking of a pill. No more timing everything to the taking of a pill. No more side effects because you're taking a pill. And right now, call Brookside 402-671-7777 and tell them you heard this spot on the Zone. You can get a free consultation and blood flow ultrasound. So please, men, stop staying on the pill and fix your ED problems with the non-surgical advanced wave technology. Brookside Medical Clinic, 402-671-7777.
The Connor Happer Show.
The media asks about how it's going with play calling all the time, and every freaking time he says it's hard. He said at Big Ten Media Days, it's sad. He needs to stop because everybody knows it's really, really difficult for him, but they need to get past that hump. And that's just one of the things. Like, can he grow into the role? Of course you can. You can get better as a head coach. Can he get better as a head coach? Can he grow into it?
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from a Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Sunny and pleasant with the temperatures in the 80s into this evening. Clear and cool tonight. Again, we'll drop back into the upper 50s for a low. Mostly sunny on Wednesday. Highs will be in the upper 80s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, got a couple crashes to avoid this afternoon. Heads up of a wreck on southbound 20th Street just past Q Street. Also got a wreck on the exit ramp from westbound I-80 to Highway 370. Looks like about a 3 to 5 minute delay on southbound JFK from F Street to I-80 with traffic down to just one lane. And a couple minute delay for both directions on Highway 275 between Center and 165th. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Come on, when was the last time you had your Fernando's fix? It doesn't get any better than lunch, dinner, carry-out, even catering from Fernando's. Get your Fernando's fix. 114th and Dodge, 75th and Pacific, and FernandosOmaha.com.
Creighton Sports Update. Creighton Volleyball returns home this weekend for the Blue Jay Invitational presented by Hilton Omaha. The Blue Jays face off against the USC Trojans on Friday night at 7:30, followed by Kentucky at 10:30 on Saturday morning. Limited tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets.
$16.20 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Get Labor Day savings at Lowe's. Buy one, get one 50% off select HGTV home by Sherwin-Williams Paint and Cabot Exterior Stains via rebate. And save on Lowe's exclusive Stainmaster laminate flooring starting at $269 per square foot. It's 3 times wear resistant and backed by a lifetime limited warranty. Shop Labor Day savings now at Lowe's. Stainmaster claims compared to standard residential grade laminate. See warranty at Lowe's.com/Stainmaster. Conditions and exclusions apply. See store Lowe's.com for paint details and restrictions. While supplies last. Offer valid to 9/7.
The Omaha Farmers Market is offering the city's largest and best selection of farm fresh, locally grown produce May 7th through October 16th. Open rain or shine in the Old Market every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and in Exarban Village every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. To keep up with what's in season, visit omahasfarmersmarket.org and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Presented by University of Nebraska Omaha, Methodist Health System, and KETV Channel 7.
The true college football season begins this weekend. John and Josh here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. And right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week one. And all you need to do is place a $5 bet and you can get $150 in free bets even if you lose. But we want you to win. And man, you can win big with the FanDuel Sportsbook, Josh, using same-game parlays.
Love same-game parlays, John. I also love betting on teams that I guarantee will win. I like Ohio State this weekend versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 16.5 ahead of the week one matchup between those two teams. Download that FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Put in our promo code 1620 and turn $5 into $150 in free bets guaranteed. Promo code 1620. 21 plus, the president in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
We don't need to smell each other.
The 1620. The Zone.
You can always hit us up on the Los Hills Harley-Davidson hotline, 402-951-1620, which also works as a text line.
It's a motorcycle noise.
I don't think I would ride a motorcycle if it sounded like that.
No, that wouldn't be
I'm not a motorcycle
They don't sound
guy.
like that there.
I'm not a
wouldn't wanna
motorcycle
ride
guy
that.
anyway, but I would definitely not ride a motorcycle that sounds like that. If I were to ride a motorcycle, it would sound like a Harley.
You wouldn't want to ride that whip?
I would not like to ride that whip. Speaking of that,
Playing for car, Josh.
whips and chins tomorrow.
Whips and chins. Will Whip say anything?
I'm
Of
sure
note.
he'll be asked.
Of note. Hey, what
I'm sure he will
Will
be
he
asked.
bark again?
Why are you not creative? Is that what he'll be asked?
Oh, I am sure he will be asked about said moment
Mm-hmm.
in after last week's game. By the way, let me double check here. But someone was asking today. Someone was asking today, you know, and it always happens after, especially an early season loss. Well, what's the stadium going to look like? What's it going to be like?
What's it going to look like? Yeah, because they asked like 50% full, right? Is that what?
Yeah,
it was?
no, it's going to look full.
It'll look full. It will not be
Now,
full, but it will
not,
look full.
It's never. It's very rarely full.
That's the big games, like Oklahoma. That'll be a full game.
That'll be a full game. You know, when we get the report at the end of the year, we always get the scanned tickets.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma game will probably be the most scanned tickets.
Yeah, but tomorrow or Saturday, excuse me, yeah, it won't be full.
But, you know, the seats are kind of squished together. So when there's not as many people there, you know, it still looks full.
Mm-hmm.
Get in price right now on the old ticketsforless.com. Still over $40.
That's interesting. That's expensive.
Now, I had someone point out that on another secondary site that they were in the $30 range.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, you know, you do a little price shopping.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, you know, these tickets were going for $30 a piece face value just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, for a team, obviously, that, you know, just lost and you're just trying to kind of sell them, that is a little pricier than I would have guessed they would have been.
Oh, that price will come down.
Definitely will. Yeah, if you want to do walk-ups, like I know some people hate doing walk-ups because you don't want to drive down to Lincoln and, you know, not have a guaranteed ticket. But man, this might be one where if you have one kid, maybe even two, you might be able to. I mean, you'll definitely be able to find two together, and you could probably get in pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never been to a game with your kid or you want to take them, I think you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you've been able to do this for a while. You know, if you're willing to wait it out. Or if you definitely, if you want the ticket in hand before you even go down there, the secondary market prices will start to, And now, thanks to, you print it at home or use the digital option,
Yeah.
it's easier to do that than ever. So, yeah, getting into games for an affordable price is very doable. You just got to do a little work for it. And, yeah, you're not going to sit in great seats, but, you're not expecting to anyway.
I think you asked the better question yesterday, and that is, like, what will just the overall vibe be, Nick?
Nice.
Well, but in all seriousness,
That's the goal this week is to avoid the boo birds.
Avoid the boos.
Make
yeah.
sure that they sprayed for boo birds.
Yeah, and we're gonna have Tom Miller on tomorrow. He covers North Dakota.
Smile, Tom.
And so we'll find out kind of what type of team is coming to Lincoln. But I mean, physically, Nebraska, of course, should be the better team. They will be the better team physically. Mentally, where are they going to be at? We heard a lot of the right stuff.
You know,
today.
there was.
Whoops, sorry.
We heard a lot of the right stuff today from the players. Frost was his usual self after a loss. But in all seriousness, like what are the players? What's the mindset? How will they come out in this one? And like last year, remember the final score of the Fordham game, Nebraska dominated the game. I remember watching it early on. The game was never in doubt, but it was just like, oh man, it's a little sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
They had a dumb special teams play. And I think they got a late score in the first half. I'm looking at the box score right now. I think they picked up a late score to go up 24-7 at the very end of the half. Yeah, indeed they did. They pick up a score. And so what was a 17-7 type game, it kind of changed late. So, I think this team will be better than the Fordham team last year.
I would agree.
And Nebraska is going to, body clockwise, where are they at?
Yeah, the adjustment is going to be difficult. I mean, those of you who traveled over and are coming back are having to deal with it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not coming off. I mean, yes, as a fan, you feel like you're coming off a loss, but you're not responsible for trying to change that.
Yeah.
So it will be a challenge. Scott Frost was asked about the first Memorial Stadium game of the year.
I know it's going to be a special experience for them. Again, I can't thank the fans that went to Ireland enough. This is a neat team. I know the fans are going to be there to support them. Don't give up on this team because this is a neat group of kids, and I know Husker Faith will be out to support them on Saturday.
And we'll see what it is like. But I mean, honestly, that's from a football standpoint, you're trying to get better. You're trying to correct things that need to be corrected.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're trying to do over these next two games. But from a psychological perspective, you're trying to avoid boo birds.
Yeah.
You're trying to avoid the Ball State 2007 moment.
Yes.
Where the stadium rocked with boos when Nebraska was struggling against an supposedly overmatched Ball State team.
Yeah, because
because that's when it really felt like because the USC game, people were too drunk and it was too late at night to really react.
You were like mad, but it was
Yeah.
USC. They were that USC. I mean, that version of USC is today if Alabama came in and did that.
Yeah. But that Ball State game was the game where the masses really started to say, all right, this is garbage.
Yeah, because after the opener, I mean, against Nevada that year, they played great.
Yeah.
The next game against Wake Forest, ho-hum. But I remember at the time, freshman in college, saying, they're looking ahead. Classic looking ahead.
Yep.
USC, bummer. But as we just said, one of the best. I mean, they were the program in the country. The Ball State game was the one where you said, maybe this ain't it. And then they had a couple of, then they had the sleepy win against Iowa State, that wasn't on TV. So it was a very forgettable game because a lot of people didn't see it.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah. The only thing I remember about
That's
it.
That's the second to last win. K-State.
Yeah.
The Joe Gans K-State game was the last.
The only thing that I remember about that game is nothing about the game itself. It's that there was a family of 4 that came to the student section and they were bringing up those like seat backs.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, do they know like this is a student section and no one's going to be sitting? And I felt so bad for them because they were trying to see and they couldn't because they're sitting in the student section.
Rude students.
Oh, would you stop
you
it?
rude millennials.
Would you stop it?
God. These kids, maybe that may have been their very first game.
Well, their dad shouldn't have bought student section tickets like an idiot.
Maybe they couldn't afford the rich people's tickets.
That's fine, but
yeah, we can't all have the rich people seats, Josh.
Stand up,
okay,
Nick.
you were like 7 years old during this game.
Stand up and shout, Donna, Donna.
That song was still relatively new.
What year was this game?
2007. He was 10.
You were
Yeah, I
10
was
years
10.
old. You were 10 years old.
And then the next week, by the way, that's when they played Missouri, and that's when all hell broke loose.
I was cool as hell too.
Yeah, I'm sure. So that you're right though. Don't get booed. That is the Frost isn't going to say, guys, let's go out there and not get booed.
But I'm just saying, if you're looking, I mean, that's honestly, you're trying to play well enough and not do anything stupid enough or leave an overmatched team in a game long enough to where you start to hear the murmurs or the boos.
Murmurs. Yeah.
Because those will be coming if things don't turn around.
God, I hate
they
the
will
murmurs.
be coming.
Aiden says, sounds like Frost is begging fans to show up because he knows it's going to be a pathetic showing on Saturday.
I think listen, Nebraska fans are like rubber bands. They snap back. This first game, it's the first game. Remember, it's still a tailgate. It's still a social thing. It will not look. I mean, yeah, you'll have the usual corner of the end zone where there's nobody.
Damn students, am I right, John?
Yeah, you'll have that, but it won't. No, it will look good on television.
Yeah.
I'm very, very confident of that. It will look good on television.
But will it sound good? That's the question.
I don't know.
Tune into Big Red Overreaction afterwards
with Damon and Connor.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yes, it will. Right here on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
I'm going to take Bank for a walk after the game, and I'm going to listen to them.
I'll be walking back from the stadium, going to my ride.
Listening to them.
And I can be listening to them.
And then we'll be watching Notre Dame, Ohio State. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Football.
Exactly. Still to come, Scott Frost did have a funny haha moment today.
A tee-hee?
A little bit more.
Puking?
Plus, I want to get into we had a lot of great emails in the mail sack.
Got to get into the sack.
And then, is there anything that can happen over the next 5 games to pull you back from the ledge?
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Or is it time to reevaluate the possibility of a midseason?
Who says I'm on a ledge?
I'm worried that Nick's going to play Van Halen's Jump at some point today.
That's what actually inspired that song. Fun fact.
Well, I figured, yeah.
What, Nebraska losing? 1984, Nebraska was really good. They should have been the defending national champions.
It was about Kansas State fans.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that was not good back then.
No, it was not.
Not good at all.
This is not good.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Perhaps you are one of the people that John just mentioned. You're sitting in the nosebleeds, where tickets for a variety of games this fall are still a couple of $100s, including a game that's coming up on, Saturday, September the 17th. When you're up there, you want to, of course, be able to see all of the action on the field. I remember in the quote-unquote old days, going to a game, having seats near the top of the stadium, looking down on the field. Couldn't always tell who had the football. Maybe I could figure it out via context clues. Well, that looks like a quarterback, so I'm guessing I know who it is. But I couldn't always see the numbers on the jerseys. Now, whether I'm up high, whether I'm down low, anywhere in between, perhaps the third row hanging out, I can see everything clearly. And that is because of the procedure that I had done at Kugler Vision. Changed the way that I watched sports. I wish that I could have had this procedure done earlier in my life. It is not too late for you. Give them a call today at 402-558-2211. Schedule a consultation. You have questions, they will absolutely have the answers. And whether it's a college football game in the stadium, whether it is working on your computer all day, going to a child sporting event, everything will be crystal clear for you. 402-558-2211 or KuglerVision.com.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours, Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, only on 1620 The Zone.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Question 5. Lucas and Carla have 3 homework assignments each. Lucas does his online at home, but Carla has no internet at home. If Carla has to travel 5 miles to find Wi-Fi at a noisy diner or a grocery store parking lot, how can she ever be expected to do well in school?
This is not a problem kids should have to solve. Cox Connect to Compete, providing affordable internet to lower-income students. Available to new residential Cox Internet customers who meet eligibility criteria. Other restrictions apply.
Before you know it, Husker football season is going to be here, and you want to be in Memorial Stadium or following the Big Red on the road. And while you look for tickets, look no further than ticketsforless.com. Formerly Ticket Express, they are your home for the best selection of Husker tickets inside of Memorial Stadium. And the best part, you'll never pay those outrageous fees like you do at other sites. Just compare. And you want to follow the Big Red on the road? Tickets for Less has you covered there, too. Find the best seats at the best prices to all your favorite Nebraska events, all in one convenient location. Ticketsforless.com. That's ticketsforless.com. Get in the stadium.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan. How can I help?
Hi, thanks for telling my family and me about Toyota's national sales event. We got a new RAV4 during the event, and it's been great.
Well, that makes me happy. Right now through September 6th, it is the best time to drive off in a new Camry Hybrid, Tacoma, and more. So what are you up to?
You know, we took the RAV4 to a great spot, and now we're exploring a cave.
Amazing.
Yeah, my wife talked me into spelunking. I'm actually a complete and absolute amateur. Huh, I could have done without the echo on that.
Toyota's national sales event is on. Visit your participating Toyota dealer today to enjoy every last second of summer. Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 6th.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
The best part of your summer night is listening to Royals baseball on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Friends, turn my mic on.
I'm not used to having to do it, John.
Well, dadgummit, get used to it. At least for another hour and 35 minutes, because I guess it's supposed to be fixed tomorrow.
35 minutes. Are we staying on till 6:15 tonight?
Oh, whatever.
Not everyone's as good at math as you are, Josh.
Friends,
Hour 21.
I want you to participate in something that's going on tomorrow, if for anything else, because I had to go 10 minutes out of my way last night to pick up prizes for this thing.
You did. Yeah, I'll be at a Monolithic Brewing Company. Should I give the exact address for the folks?
Hey, I know where that is.
They're 120th and Fort.
120th and Fort, 4915 North 120th Street. It is
120th and Fort.
Yeah, it's like a block south of Fort Street. So yeah, I will be there. I don't know if anybody in this room will be there, but I will be there from like 6:20 until 10 o'clock when they close. But the event that's going on starts at 4. Yeah. The event starts at 4. So here's what's going on. People forget. I run. Did you see this actually? So let me explain it, and then I'll explain this. So I run. Sometimes people hear about this. I'm running in the Chicago Marathon. It is 5 weeks and 5 days away, but who's counting? I'm raising money for the St. Jude Children's Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. That is where the location is. And I'm trying to raise $5,000. I'm like $2,000 away from my goal. Going to get it. And a big reason why is going to be because of Monolithic Brewing tomorrow night. So what's going on is $2 from every full pour of beer will go directly to the hospital. $2 from every single pour. And I know some of you don't like beer, or maybe you just don't drink at all. We'll have a raffle going on as well. And we've gotten some incredible donations from places in Omaha and in Lincoln, like the one that we got today from Lucky Bucket, which was to Josh P. It was directed to Josh P. The P stands for People Forget That He Runs. Appreciated that.
That's nice.
And like you said, you went out of your way last night on your way home. You went to Corn Coast Brewing in Lincoln. They were among the Lincoln folks that are helping out. A gift card, a glass, a sticker, a shirt. Lucky Bucket, by the way, they donated similar items, including tour vouchers. If you've never done a brewery tour there, they're awesome because they also have a distillery. So you can see what they do with that stuff. The other ones, we have Lumen Beer Company. They're brand new. They're located in Little Bohemia. We have Cross Train. We have Muchachos. We have CTRL. We have tickets to a Storm Chasers game. We have, and I confirmed this earlier today, we have courtside seats to a men's Creighton basketball home weeknight Big East game and parking pass, which is in the garage. So it's probably going to be cold AF out there, and you'll be good to go. And again, courtside, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, not tables anymore. Your feet will be on the floor.
Yeah, they're going to do the comfy chairs.
At CHI, have I mentioned everything? Miracle Hill donated a free foursome of golf as well. So raffling off, and every dollar from the raffle will also go directly to St. Jude. So I hope to see as many of you out there as possible. I will be there, like I said, basically after the show, 6:20. Takes about 20 minutes from here until they close at 10. So, and we even have one of those big giant checks. So I'm going to get to take a picture with a big giant check.
Can you bring Mr. Banks? I'll go if you bring Mr. Banks.
He will not be there.
Sad. I'll still
Indeed.
go.
Yeah.
So tomorrow at Monolithic 120th and Fort.
4 to 10, I'll be there after the show.
It's a great cause too.
Yeah,
the St. Jude Children's
awesome
Research Hospital.
Awesome people.
Tremendous people,
Mm-hmm.
you might say. Some NFL news today. Today is the last day of cuts. Bad news first. Davis twins both got cut by the Steelers today. Austin Allen. I thought Austin Allen was going to make the Giants. Apparently he didn't.
Was he too tall?
Or too good? I mean, it is the
Maybe
Giants.
he's too...
That was for you.
Sick got him.
But JoJo Doman, who was working as a long snapper for the Colts, he made the squad.
Nice.
In Indianapolis. And
Samori Toure. That one is
Samori
awesome.
Toure, who was a 7th round draft pick, correct?
Yes.
Made the Green Bay Packers. So that was good news.
So cool.
I think,
Good for him, man.
I think I've covered the highlight ones. If there were others, let me know. But congratulations to the guys that made it. And for those who didn't, obviously, there's...
John's going to say you
Get
suck.
better.
No, they're going to...
Bingo.
Listen,
Get good.
Listen, there's still a chance to be on a practice squad. And with the injuries that happen, keep yourself in shape. Don't forget, we got the Rocks XFL coming. And the USFL is still a thing.
Arena football.
Is arena football still a thing? Is that
yes,
around?
arena football is still a thing.
Nice.
But now, see, that's what I wonder. Now with the Rocks XFL and the USFL, I wonder if that's hurting the arena leagues.
I think so, because
R.I.P. Barnstormers.
arena football is definitely more gimmicky than
absolutely
than the other footballs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Samari. Congratulations to JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
And good luck this season.
By the way,
unless you're playing the Rams.
2 other spots I forgot to mention: Tavern 180 and Tanner's will have those.
Yeah, a lot of great local
Support
breweries
local.
and
Support
businesses
local.
supporting Josh's run.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you
So,
called it a run. Wow, that's the nicest thing you've ever said.
Jog.
There we go.
Yog.
Jog.
There we go.
Jogging.
There we go.
So coming up, we're going to dip into the mail sack. And because it is the happy hour, Scott Frost made a funny ha-ha today. He actually poked a little fun at himself.
Wow.
A little fun at himself.
Just a little.
Well, you know, when you're 15 and 30, sometimes it's hard to poke fun at yourself.
That's true.
But who knows? Maybe he's taken on a new persona. September Fest, Labor Day weekend. Hey, that's this weekend, kids. Going on CHI Health Center Lot D. Games, carnival rides, food, clowns.
Pennywise.
Robot Rangers. What is a
I
robot
still have
ranger?
no idea. I tried looking
Like
it
the
up
Texas
earlier. and
Rangers?
I couldn't see anything, but it looks rad. It sounds rad.
I don't think it's a Texas Ranger. It's a robot.
It's a robot ranger. They're not from Texas.
There's a KCBC barbecue cook-off.
Oh.
KCBC, Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Is that
Bethune-Cookman.
Well, I
British
know
Columbia.
there's a Kansas City Barbecues Association. Maybe that's what it is. But if there's a barbecue cook-off, that's a good thing. Fight Club, Labor Day Parade, car show. It's all going on downtown.
Shoot to Thrill. John would like them.
Would I? Why?
It's an AC/DC cover band.
Oh. So they play the good music.
They'll-
Get all the details at 1620thezone.com.
1620 The Zone Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time Saving Traffic Center, Currently, no major wrecks to avoid. We are still getting reports, though, of significant delays. Stop and go traffic on the southbound JFK from F Street to I-80, with traffic down to just one lane through there. Few minute delay on Highway 275 for both directions between Center and 165th. Same goes on Highway 370 for both directions between I-80 and 144th. Also stop and go traffic on the northbound JFK from L Street to Gilmore Ave. But good news, the ramp from L Street to the northbound JFK has reopened. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Lanahan Nurseries.
Trees supply oxygen, provide shelter, and reduce pollution. They're a symbol for life. Lanahan Nurseries is the metro area's premier homegrown tree source. Leave a legacy that matters. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahan Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Ted Wally's. Squeeze every last bit of flavor out of summer than you can with a spoonful of creamy, delicious Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. If you're in Benson, swing in for pints, quarts, or half gallons of Ted Wally's to take home. Or if you're in the old market, taking your senior photos or maybe just kind of hanging out, slip into Ted Wally's for a tasty treat after the photo session. There's still plenty of summer left. Enjoy it with rich, creamy flavors of Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream in Benson, the old market, and at tedwallys.com.
Sunday morning is all about church, eggs, and the Sunday paper. But right next to church, it's made for hot takes and reactions. Severe Reactions. Michael Severe is back on 1620 The Zone with Severe Reaction. Sundays 8 to 10 and doesn't hold back on what went right and what went wrong on Saturday. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours. Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Only on 1620 The Zone.
Teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
Yeah, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, anything, you need to tell an adult, someone you know and trust. That can be hard, but speaking up about a problem is what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
It'd be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
from your mom.
The happy hour is on the air.
Hello, friends of the program. Good to have you here on a Tuesday. And unlike yesterday, which was the unhappy hour, which is what happens after you have a losing game on Monday, today is a happy hour. We've moved on. We're on to Kansas City. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on
to North Dakota.
We will preview the wrong North Dakota.
Wow.
Hawks with their beat writer, Tom Miller, tomorrow here on the program, in addition to Shafe and Dumb Debates. Later this week, Creighton Athletic Director Marcus Blossom will join us.
Whoa. Nice Nick.
You mentioned that, the men's soccer team's up to seventh. Women's volleyball, top 20 after, an ice cream weekend. Anytime they sweep on the road.
Ice cream, Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
Do they watch airplanes?
I hope not.
No,
that would be the best weekend. You win a game, you get some ice cream, you get to watch some planes. Hell yeah.
Well, they probably get on a plane and come home.
Yeah, and by the way, I didn't mention this earlier when we mentioned the soccer team being top 7. They play number 3 Stanford next Friday at Socktoberfest.
Socktoberfest.
I really want one
Brainiac Bowl
because they have Steins. It's their best attended match of the whole year. I want one of those beer Steins.
I want one of those Steins
Where's
too.
my
That
beer
sounds cool.
Stein?
Come call the match with me.
Can I call it with you?
I think it's Rob Sims.
Can I call it?
I would
You
not
could be
want...
my spotter. Want to be my spotter?
What do I have to spot?
The players on the pitch.
You don't need a spotter for soccer, do you?
No, but if he wants to come.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or just have binoculars and be like, that's number 32.
I mean, don't say it. You got to point at it. You got to be quiet.
Okay.
Number 23.
Number 23.
Well, it's not all bad. Scott Frost, I said it earlier, even though certainly the hot seat has gotten hotter. His demeanor at the press conferences have been pretty good here recently. Very matter of fact after the loss. Very matter of fact today. He even told a funny ha-ha.
I love funny jokes.
So is this the real one right here? This is
The real one is above that.
This one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, here's what he had to say about North Dakota.
I tell you, I'm impressed with them. I know their record wasn't good last year. They lost a lot of close games. I don't know how anybody does that for sure.
I get it.
See, you didn't like the delivery because you thought he needed to work. I liked the delivery. He just needed a better laugh line.
Yeah,
or he needed a better laugh track.
I think the media was
They were
like,
afraid?
what do I do here?
That sounds like a nervous laugh. That was like a you and Robbie
Play
laugh.
it again. Yeah. Yes,
I
exactly.
tell you, I'm impressed with them. I know their record wasn't good last year. They lost a lot of close games. I don't know how anybody does that for sure.
See, yeah, he delivered the afterwards. Yeah, it's like when Nick's like, I relate with the Joker, and we're like,
Would you have preferred him? Would you have preferred him to kind of do the Johnny Carson where he knows he's gotten a zinger in, where he kind of does the thing where he cinches up the tie and gives that face?
Yeah, maybe.
Native Nebraskan Johnny Carson.
People forget. Yeah, indeed.
Native Nebraskan.
I just felt bad for him. I just felt bad because the delivery of the laughter wasn't like like it should have been.
All right, fine. Maybe it plays better if we spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
If we give it a little juice. If we goose it.
I tell you, I'm impressed with them. I know their record wasn't good last year. They lost a lot of close games. I don't know how anybody does that for sure. They played North Dakota State 2-3. They were ahead of Utah State by quite a bit in the middle of the game.
Still laughing as he tries to talk.
I think they're smart.
It's kind of rude.
Shut up!
He's on to the next joke, kids.
Wow, they just kept laughing and laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, at a certain
This is
point,
a really funny joke.
It goes from laughing with you to laughing at you. It kind of sounded like they were laughing at
I tell you, I'm impressed with them. I know their record wasn't good last year. They lost a lot of close games. I don't know how anybody does that for sure. They played North Dakota State.
Full on
They
cheering.
were ahead of Utah State by quite a bit in the middle of the game.
I mean, it does help.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It does help a little.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll be the goal for next week. The boys and girls at Husker Vision can get the laugh track ready.
There you go.
I'm sure there'll be many more laugh lines next week.
Mm-hmm. Remember, Bo would every now and then Bo would make a joke and didn't know if we were allowed to laugh. And then the best time, because Bo famously going into the Texas game in 2010. Do you remember this? How he made a joke about,
where he jumped the guy in the lobby. Oh,
not
sorry.
that, not
Wrong
that part.
Texas game.
Oh, that's what he said. This is a joke. Ha ha. But he struggled in Octobers in 2008 and 2009.
He did.
So going into that, he mentioned like, yeah, October, it hasn't been very good or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, then they lose. People do not forget. They lost to Texas, the red out around the world game.
Yeah.
So the following Monday, some Yahoo, I don't know who the guy was, but he goes, I guess October is not a very good month for you, huh? And Bo goes, what? And he was like, oh, you made a joke. So then he has to explain the joke. And Bo goes, I was joking. And immediately it's like, well, that joke is now gone and thrown in the trash. So awkward and so uncomfortable. Riley says, I would like more laugh tracks during sugar frosted takes in general. Yeah, that's right. For those of you who missed it earlier, no longer are these frosty highlights. These are now sugar frosted takes.
They're close.
Was that laughter okay? Was that up to par? Was that funny? Haha.
Well, it helped a little.
I mean, yeah, it definitely made it sound funnier.
Yeah, it helped a little.
Yeah.
Time to dip into the mail set. Unfortunately, after losses, well, it's not unfortunate that we get to interact with you, the people.
Yeah.
But it does seem like the Equitable Bank inbox, the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed, and now the Lus Hills Harley Davidson hotline heats up a little more, especially after unexpected or particularly frustrating losses.
Yes.
Mina writes, and this is kind of on the subject of the day from earlier at the Sugar Frosted Takes. Not sure if you guys have discussed this, but it seems like the first signs of an incompatible relationship between Frost and Whips is already in view.
Real quick, did the email start with not sure if you have noticed?
Yeah. No, not sure if you have discussed this.
Oh, okay.
In the fourth quarter, Nebraska received a punt around their own 40-yard line with 8:40 left in the game. The first play is a horribly executed end around that loses 5 yards. Was this Whipple saying, yeah, jackass, let's see how our offense runs the ball like you want to try? Second down and 15, crap play, 2-yard middle screen to the running back that's dropped. Third down pass is short of the sticks, doesn't even come close to getting the first down. That was the drive Nebraska needed. Just seems like Frost and the players are already in desperation mode, and Frost will get more and more inside of Whipple's shirt as he is calling plays.
I definitely didn't view it that way. But an interesting thought nonetheless. Interesting thought.
Well, and if you missed it, Frost was asked straight up today.
You mentioned cooperation after the game. I mean, is there tension between you and Mark at all?
No, not at all. He's really smart, really good at what he does. We have a lot of other coaches that are really smart, really good at what they do. We just need to find our rhythm of putting all the best stuff together. And I thought it was good on Saturday. It can be better.
And that was the third time where he really sold. He said, man, Whips is really good at his job.
Mm-hmm. He really was talking up how good he is at his job.
He was. Obviously, and Frost walked back the whole we need to be more creative line.
He didn't want to talk about it.
He did not want to talk about it. And he walked it back by saying, I didn't even realize I said it. Well, again, in adverse moments, in adversity, things reveal themselves.
Yeah.
And that was a moment where some of that frustration revealed itself. And that's the through line to what is going to help determine the fate of this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's Frost giving up the play calling, handing it over to somebody else, and the temptation to either take it back or second guess it. Now, he downplayed that today, but that's going to be the push and pull of this season.
I got a couple of short ones before a bit of a longer one.
That's what she said.
Munsky, this is from yesterday. He wrote, when I can say out loud, and here comes the turnover to end the game before the drive even starts, it's because I've seen this game before. Like a movie with different actors, but Michael Bay is still the director. You know, a bunch of bleep is going to blow up in the end. But I liked this response from Joel. He says, it's more like M. Night Shyamalan. There's a crazy twist you didn't see coming the first couple of times, but now expected and disappointing. I mean, it's just so perfect. It's so perfect. The longer email, this was from Anthony, Equitable Bank Inbox. He says, last week, Ravi mentioned he was afraid this team would find a way to have a good year and Frost would get another year and it would regress to what it has been. This has become a terrifying thought. I figured they brought in so many transfers to fill some holes on the roster and had talent, but it's clear they had no other choice. Take the transfers off this team and they can barely field a team. I think the part that doesn't get discussed enough is Frost's roster management and player development. I cannot think of one player that was exclusively recruited by the staff that improved during their time here. This roster is in a much worse position than when Frost took over. If he comes back next year, he would have to bring in just as many transfers to fill holes because they're incapable of developing their own talent. There are no players on the defense or offensive line that give hope for the future at those positions. After Saturday, I believe this will be the worst team in the Frost era. The one positive was the passing game, but if you can't run the ball, good luck throwing it 40 to 45 times a game in the Big Ten. I hear people turning their attention to the Oklahoma game, and that's the game to save Frost's job. And on one hand, I can't figure out how people think we have a chance to win that game. And on the other hand, I can't figure out how people would still keep Frost even if they win that game. Anyways, I expect this year will get ugly. So best of luck to you radio guys.
By the way, we'll keep track of it. They run pass ratio, and we're going to take out sacks. We're going to turn sacks into passes, not rushing attempts. In NCAA statistics, they count as rushes, but obviously it was an intended pass. 60% pass. 44 pass, 29 run out of 73 plays, 60.3%.
Man.
And of course, on the first drive, it was all pass, but I think one play.
Mm-hmm. Not a surprise to you and me.
No, not a surprise at all.
Not a surprise to you and me. That's what we expected, and that's what happened.
Not a surprise at all. Lance wants to turn this around a little bit. He says, tell me if I'm wrong here, but we always seem to look at the Huskers through the 80s and 90s glory days prism. We need to stop this and look at them as a team that went 3-9 last year. For a 3-9 team, I thought we played pretty well. AC Thompson looked good. He made quick decisions, was elusive in the pocket, gave the receivers a chance to make a play, unlike last year where AM held the ball way too long. Casey and the receivers should continue to gel as they become more comfortable with each other. With that being said, we need to tackle better, run block better. I think the cornerbacks will get better with more snaps. Northwestern had a good O-line and made our D-line look average. They will get better.
That's what you have to hope for. That's what you have to hope for.
Well,
have to hope for guys getting better. Have to hope that for the team to get better.
Well, I went back and looked at the numbers. Northwestern ran the ball in the last 15 plays they ran on offense, starting with 12 minutes to go in the game. They gained 93 yards in those 15 runs. That's a 6-yard per carry average. And remember, they burned 4 to 5 minutes off the clock and put themselves in a position where their punter could pin it inside the 10-yard line, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
Running the ball. That's all they did.
Man, that's
and from the shadow of their own goalpost.
That's like 2017 Wisconsin type stuff. Remember, like that game in
North Dakota? It was 2011 Northwestern. They did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
clinched the game.
Yeah, I know we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but that drive, the last real Northwestern drive, where they got pinned deep and they gained about 50 yards and they ran out a bunch of clock. They flipped the field, and then Nebraska essentially had to go 100 yards to win, or they had to go 80, 75, 70 yards to tie. Yeah, that was brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Nick, very long email, Nick. But
Nick.
I'll truncate it.
Sorry, guys.
Just a little bit. But he points out something that I too thought was in the moment an error.
Okay.
And I know you guys took a call about it and you disagreed. But end of the first half, Frost used a couple of timeouts as Northwestern had the ball. And they used their second timeout with a minute and a half left to go and a fourth and less than a yard.
They did it. Yeah, they took their second timeout on third down.
Yes, they took a timeout on third down.
And where was Northwestern? Where did they have the ball?
They
was
were
their own 30 something.
They were, well, let me go in and get the playbook here. But they used back-to-back timeouts at the end of the first half. Of course, Northwestern then decided to sneak the ball, get the first down, and then they eventually went in.
Their own 38. They were with their own 38 when Nebraska called that second timeout.
Yeah. They eventually went in and got the
they went
touchdown to take their first lead of the game.
Correct.
So, and I thought this was a good observation. They used a timeout on second down when after they gained 6 yards, and then they used their second timeout after they gained 3 yards to make it fourth and less than a yard. I didn't have a problem with the first timeout. The second timeout, I did have a problem with.
Interesting.
Because you gave Northwestern an extra 45, 60 seconds to ponder the decision. When the play clock's running, you either have to use a timeout of your own, which then kind of takes the element of surprise out of the whole thing. But Nebraska gave you a free timeout. There would have been no harm in letting the clock run.
Well, the harm would have been lost time, though. It would have
But you
40.
would still had 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, but a minute 10 instead of a minute.
But in college football, Josh, a minute 10 is forever, especially with 2 timeouts.
Fair.
That second timeout, in my opinion, was a mistake because it literally allowed Northwestern to, okay, let's do this.
Fair, but here's my counter to your counter. Did you really expect Northwestern to go for it in their own territory at the end of the first half? I sure as hell didn't. I couldn't believe that they actually ran a play. I was stunned. I thought, of course, they're going to punt. You expect Northwestern to go for it? And maybe that's a gamble that Frost took and he failed at. I'm not going to.
But don't give him the opportunity to think about it. And who knows? Maybe they still would have done the exact same thing. But then they had a chance to calibrate the situation, think about it, pause for a moment, and remember, it looked like they were just trying to draw Nebraska offside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe they got a look.
And
they liked.
But again, you give a good coaching staff a little more time to think about something. I think you bite it. I think that second timeout was not a good decision.
Steve says, I've been a strong, this is from yesterday. I've been a strong Frost supporter the entire time. I'm done. Fire his ass October 1st.
Right.
Barring a major upswing, very doubtful. First, the ignorant comments about O-line puking, and then the infamous onside kick. Could this be his massive ego? I can no longer call plays, but I can still make an impact by making a brilliant special teams call. I did not drink the Kool-Aid this year, but still hoping for the best. I'm done with Frost. Send him down the road.
We have all been adamant that a midseason firing is likely not to happen unless there is something non-football related or something scandalous, I dare say, that Trev will let this thing right out. Certainly, nothing is going to happen before October 1st.
No.
There would be no point to that.
Well, I said as much on Saturday because there was a few people who were like, you should fire him now. And look, I've seen that opinion. I think I have it written down on my sheet somewhere. Maybe I don't. Maybe it was on yesterday's. Basically, because I saw this over the weekend from somebody. I don't remember who it was, so I can't give him credit. But it was, here it is. If he's bad enough to fire, he is bad enough to fire now. And I thought of that and I pondered it. I still disagree with that point because, as I said on Saturday, it would make me mad that you could have done it last year, and then you basically punt on the 2022 season after one game because you're mad about them losing to Northwestern.
And I think
that'd be silly.
I think that's a bad look on Trev Alberts.
Yes,
because despite the fact that Alberts has been pretty clear that hey, there's no empirical data that shows this is going to work, and certainly
then you shouldn't have brought him back. That's what I would say to him. Why'd you do this then, Trev?
Right, but if he's going to be the one that's left behind, and he's going to be the one that goes out and hires the next coach. And whether or not you agree or disagree with the move, other coaches are watching the situation and watching how it's being handled. It makes Trev look bad if he throws in the towel after one or two games into a season when, he made you do have to stand behind your decision.
And I'll say this too, like they fired 4 coaches and they brought in, and then that one of them left. So they lost 5 coaches from last year. You brought in new coaches. You people uprooted their lives to move here to, like you said, throw in the towel. And I would guess most, if not all of these coaches that are on the roster or on the staff would not be involved next year. That's not fair to those people either. And
even though they have a 2-year guarantee.
Even though I know, and that's the thing. I know they're making a ton of money. And that's the business that they're in. I understand that. But again, the newbies uprooted their lives.
Yes.
They uprooted their lives to join this situation. And so and look, Trev's not going to do that, by the way. He's not going to do that now. He's not going to do it in September. I wonder about October and beyond now, but he's obviously not going to do that. So it would be unfair if you were going to pull the plug immediately on those people, on those 4, because Bill Bush was obviously already in town. So on the 4 new coaches and their families.
You got to be mindful of what the future holds.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have to show at least a little backbone in standing behind your decision.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're softening a little bit on the idea of an October.
I am
surprise.
I am. I thought about it a lot. I when I was driving home on Saturday, thinking about it on Saturday night. Now, I mean, I'm thinking about certain records, when you get to that buyout situation, but because I was talking it out with someone in particular, and they were like, "Look, I just don't understand what you gain." Because it's not like the old days maybe where you could, hey everybody, new job here. If Trev is doing his due diligence, which I assume he is, the coaches that they're interested in are going to know about it through intermediaries. Those people are going to know that the job could or will be open. So you don't need to prove it to anyone. But if the program gets into a certain spot where, hope or goals are mostly, if not all the way lost, this year, I think it kind of can do irreparable harm by keeping him around, if that's where they find themselves in. And I have not honestly looked at the October 1st date as like the date. I keep looking at October 15th because after that they have a bye. After the Purdue game, they have a bye week. But if you're like, if he looks at the situation and says, this is not something that I believe is going to turn around, if they're an under 500 team, I think that you have to absolutely ponder it in that moment. Because I think you need to say this isn't good enough. Like at a certain point.
No, I know.
John, they're 15 and 30, and I'm not so much preaching to you, but they're 15 and 30. Depending on, I guess, what the record is. I think at a certain point you have to say this is not what this football program stands for, and we want to move on from it now.
I wish I had a better gauge of what because I don't know if we're going to, well, I shouldn't say I don't know, but it was obvious when things were going to come apart for Bill Callahan because his boss got fired. And
yeah, this is going to be the most unique of all of them.
Right. And with Pelini, we knew his clock was ticking the moment that, Tom Osborne left and they brought in Silent Sean.
And he got 2 full seasons with Sean, and he had the 2012 season where he knew that Sean was going to be his boss.
Right. And with Riley, we knew pretty much the countdown started after Northern
When
Illinois.
they lost Northern Illinois, we knew he was on the hot seat. When his boss got fired a week and a half later, we knew he was done.
Exactly. Well, we know, again, barring something weird happening, Trev Alberts isn't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, he's there.
But the question is, what's behind the scenes? Because I firmly believe that the stuff going on behind the scenes helped influence the decision to bring him back. I believe if this were 100% Trev's decision, with no outside influence, there would be a new coach today.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. Because I believe there are some very powerful people behind the scenes who have a lot of money. And let's face it, the popular sentiment, the popular vote is still there. But at what point do you either say, popular vote be damned, we've got to do this, or things swing enough in both the court of public opinion and maybe more importantly, the court of the boosters of substance opinion.
Yeah.
That makes it more politically palatable to make the move.
Yeah. And that's something that I've been wondering about this week, because I got some pushback on Saturday when I said, 50% of the fan base is still all for him and for keeping him. And I got a lot of pushback saying that. I don't think that's the case anymore. And maybe I mean, maybe that is the case. I don't think it is. I still don't think that 50% or 50.1% of the fans want him fired. Maybe I'm misreading everything. And I'll be honest, I have partly been operating in that assumption when discussing in-season moves of like, well, you don't want to deal with the fan base. But again, I thought about it a lot over the weekend. Is that a way to do your job? Is to care about it? Like, I know the reaction, it does matter. It does. But should that be like the end-all be-all for Trev? Unless it's a booster of substance. Like, those people matter. Because if someone, and look, I think this is what happened last year. I think someone said, I ain't giving you money. We're not giving you money.
Yeah, they're in the middle of a very important capital campaign.
And so if that's the case, and they're still saying that, then that's a really tough question. You know, but I mean, he gets paid to do these things.
Then it becomes a power play.
Yeah, we could, again, you gotta look at the record. But I don't know, again, with the whole fan base, I would love to know what it is right now. It does seem like Saturday was a breaking point for a lot of people. I don't know if it was a breaking point for all. I mean, obviously it wasn't a breaking point for all. I still read my emails.
There were other things that Frost discussed today, and we will play some of that in just a little bit, including an update on Travis Vokalek, which that loss was as impactful as the negative momentum created by the onside kick heard around the world or seen by 4.4 million people. Because that's what the TV rating was.
By the way, too, Easton Stick, he made the 53 for the Chargers. So another local.
Congratulations, Easton.
Another local person.
1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Sunny and pleasant with the temperatures in the 80s into this evening. Clear and cool tonight. Again, we'll drop back into the upper 50s for a low. Mostly sunny on Wednesday. Highs will be in the upper 80s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Currently no major wrecks to avoid. We are still getting reports, though, of significant delays. Stop-and-go traffic on the southbound JFK from F Street to I-80, with traffic down to just one lane through there. Few-minute delay on Highway 275 for both directions between Center and 165th. Same goes on Highway 370 for both directions between I-80 and 144th. Also stop-and-go traffic on the northbound JFK from L Street to Gilmore Ave. But good news, the ramp from L Street to the northbound JFK has reopened. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Through September 12th, buy a Nebraska Lottery Powerball with Power Play ticket and enter the voucher number for a chance to win a trip to New York City and a shot at $1 million. Powerball top prize odds, 1 in 292 million.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has been making your game day experience one to remember for 18 years with our award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. But now your game day just got bigger and better with Oscar's newly upgraded audio-video system. Cheer on your favorite teams this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall, showing up to 8 games at once, and of course, 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
Being in business 100 years can't be easy. Rotella's Bakery is that business. Great family-owned and operated business that understands the needs of the community. They specialize in breads and rolls made from the highest quality ingredients, ensuring that they are superior in taste. At Rotella's, with 5 great generations represented, the American success story is combined with customer satisfaction, and they don't compromise in quality. For more information about their specialty breads, you can visit rotellasbakery.com.
Celebrate Septemberfest, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 5th, outside the CHI Center. There are games, carnival rides, and food, plus clowns, robots, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club, boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest at CHI Center, Lot D. Click SeptemberFestOmaha.org for times and parking info.
You can join us every week for the Sharp and Betting podcast. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by our good friends at Woodhouse Auto Family.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is we'll get more in depth on a lot of your favorite topics, have a guest or two, and just might drop some nuggets of information that you've never heard before.
Wherever you get your podcasts, just look for Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family each Friday. You can find it on the Sharp and Betting show page on 1620thezone.com. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast.
Anti-Nazi. That's a good take.
I'm a very anti-Nazi.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Well, there were a lot of things today discussed in Sugar Frosted Takes. That's the new name we've given to Frosty Highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Credit friends of the program for coming up with that one. I do like that. Sugar Frosted
It's very
Takes.
good.
And by the way, if you have some cool artwork, and we can include it on Zone TV.
Yes, send it to us.
Send it to us. We'll pick the best one and we'll build it into the graphics. But Travis Vokalek, as we mentioned, injured second half, and that also coincided with the downturn in Nebraska's offensive fortunes, particularly in the passing game. Here was Frost on the update with Travis Vokalek.
I thought he played a great first half. I wouldn't say it hurt us, but it definitely kind of changed a couple of things we were thinking about doing without him in there. He's a real security blanket for us. He's day-to-day, and we have a couple other guys that are day-to-day, and nobody that we lost for an extended amount of time.
5 catches, 63 yards, long of 21. I mean, he showed up on the very first drive. There was a check down to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously valuable. And right now that position is so thin,
Oh, yeah. The wins above replacement is enormous.
Yeah,
enormous gap.
I do think, by the way, we're going to see Fedoni, and I think we might see him sooner rather than later. So I think he's going to come back. That said, what will he bring to Nebraska? What type of player will he be?
Well, yeah, we don't know where he's going to be.
Exactly.
You know?
I think he's going to play. I think Fedoni will play for the team this season, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, like I said, pretty soon. But
yeah, Vokalek's catches, his first one went for 9 on a 3rd and 2. His next one went for 14 on a 2nd and 8. His next one went for 21 on a 3rd and 10.
That one was, if I remember right, a little behind him, and he had to adjust.
Yes.
Yeah, that was sweet.
His next one went for 9 yards on a 3rd and 2. So that's 3 third downs he's converted already. His next one was a 10-yard catch on a 1st and 10. And let's see, that's his last one. But he converted 3 third downs alone.
Yeah.
Including a 3rd and long.
Yeah, he's an important player. And like you said, I mean, wins above replacement. He has them
enormous.
And so if he's not in there, and obviously Fedoni's not back just yet, if he doesn't, I mean, look, they don't need him this week and they don't need him next week. Probably, hopefully, fingers crossed. Oklahoma, they definitely want him.
A lot of folks wondering about the running back rotation, and the question was asked about Ramir. I still wonder about Gabe Ervin. But the question was asked about Ramir and the subject, running back rotation.
We have a lot of guys that deserve to play. There's a couple that I don't think played enough or very much at all. That's going to kind of be a week-to-week thing a little bit unless somebody really takes it and runs with it, and guys that practice well. You know, Ramir Johnson's a really good football player. He's done a lot for this program, and he kind of got caught between playing some receiver in practice and playing running back. We got to use him more. Gabe Ervin is ready to go and healthy, and I'd like to see us use him.
Dude, I thought the running back rotation was going to be normal this year. And it just wasn't. And look, I know Yant has become, how do you refer to your favorite wide receiver in the NFL? The people's MVP.
You're comparing Jock Yant to Cooper Kupp?
Just in the way that people like him. He has become the people's
Yeah, but Cooper
favorite.
Kupp actually does good things in every game.
I was going to make that point.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's become the people's run. People loved him. He became.
Or has he become the coach's MVP?
Perhaps he had. But remember last year when he didn't see time in games, he was this like, why isn't he out there? Why isn't he out there? Why isn't he out there?
I don't see it.
I don't either. And yet he was. I mean, we heard it. We talked about it with Shafe a week ago. He was getting number 1 reps. He was right there. And it's obvious that he was right there because he got those carries. But yeah, it sometimes it's tough watching him run.
It was not tough, especially in the first 2.5 quarters, watching Casey Thompson play football.
I knew Casey was a good football player. He made some plays in that game that really impressed me. And that's another real positive thing. When you get a kid you haven't seen play live before, you don't really know what you got. We got a kid there that can win us a lot of football games. So He can get better. We can all get better. But he's going to give us a chance in every one.
That is one positive that did come out of it. And I know it didn't end well for a variety of different reasons. I think Vokalek factors in big. We're not 100% sure about if there was an injury or a tweak or something. It doesn't sound like there was anything damaging, but why it went south. Vokalek, I believe, had a huge part in that. I think more heat in the second half had a part in that. But Thompson proved in the first 2.5 quarters, if you give him time, he is going to be on the money. I can think of before the last, quarter and a half, I can think of 2 throws that weren't catchable.
The Garcia Castaneda touchdown was incredible, and it's a throw we have not seen around here in a while. And so to think then about kind of what happened late in the game.
Yeah.
It's like that's why a lot of us were asking, did something happen to his hand? Because he just overthrew. And those were kind of like, they were such bad overthrows.
Yeah.
But man, when he was on in the first part of the game, John, I don't want to get too hyperbolic, but he was making throws that we really haven't seen around here. And he's a smaller quarterback, and so it seems like he puts a little bit more into it.
Yeah, because the knock against him was he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world.
And it was,
I didn't sense that was an issue.
The ball was a little wobbly at times, but dude, that touchdown throw he had, and again, there were throws that were behind the players, including the last one. It should have been caught, but it was a little behind Wyatt Lear. But a touchdown throw. I mean, that if you're trying to find the positives, that first touchdown throw and the promise of a throw like that and being able to make those throws. We just haven't seen those types of throws around here. We haven't seen those types of plays around here.
Now, need to get the tight end spot back. Vokalek especially, get him back.
Mm-hmm.
Need to provide solid pass protection, and you need to have a running game.
Yeah. See, and that's
a serviceable running game. A serviceable running game.
Yeah.
And if you can get that, then the offense can go places without quarterback run game. But tackling was an issue, or was it?
Overall, it wasn't bad. We had, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 glaring ones, open field ones. Give a lot of credit to their backs. I thought they did a really good job at the end of runs with one last cut. And overall, I believe in this group. I think they're going to be a really good tackling unit. Our long run, they missed a couple tackles. A couple of their runs, we missed a couple tackles. I see that getting better as the year goes on.
That they have to get better at that. I mean, because again, like you're looking at the takeaways and saying, okay, what did I come into this game maybe a little too optimistic about? What did I come into this game too pessimistic about? The optimistic part of the defense, like I thought the run game would struggle, the run defense would struggle. I did not think that it would look that bad against. And again, I'm viewing Northwestern through a certain lens right now. I didn't see that coming against them.
Yeah, because remember, they were a 3-win team too.
Exactly. So if that
and Nebraska beat them by 49 last year.
Yeah, and how much of the tackling was the tackling? How much of it was the fatigue? They seemed fatigued early. It wasn't just the fourth quarter. I'm going to keep saying it for the next 3 weeks. That Oklahoma game, they're going to run a million plays if they can. Like that's it's about an early key. Nebraska sitting on the ball, holding on to the ball. They got to be able to do that in that game.
Before we had to break and get some unsportsmanlike content, here is Devin. Hey, Devin.
Hey, fellas. How are you?
Good, man.
Hey, a couple questions for you. Who would you guys rate in the Big Ten as having the best coaching staff as a whole? Not necessarily the best record, but coaching staff as a whole. Who would you say is the best?
That's an interesting question because your default response is Ohio State, but Ohio State changed out some guys this year. They brought in Knowles to be the DC.
Michigan has some unknowns.
I
don't like
unknowns.
that Brian Ferentz is the play caller at Iowa, so I wouldn't.
But
go
as
with
a
them.
staff, I mean, it is very.
Wisconsin staff is pretty good.
Iowa's a.
Oh, Brian Ferentz, play caller. Yeah.
But as a staff,
I mean, I'd probably want to take Ohio State.
as a staff, that's a pretty salty staff.
Why do you ask, Devin?
Ohio State. Okay. Before I get to my point, my next question is, how would you rate Nebraska's current staff in probably the bottom 2 or 3 in the conference?
Yes.
See,
Okay.
the problem, but we've only seen one game, and remember, this
the head
staff is
coach.
50.
It's everything. We're
I
taking
know,
into
I
account
know, I
everything.
know it's everything. It's a harder question to answer than you think.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say, let's not go this year, but the last 4 years under Frost, I would say his staff is in the bottom 2 or 3 in 10 before this year.
Okay.
So
okay.
my question is this. Everything else being the same, he's 15-30 right now. If we had Ohio State's staff the first 4 years, everything else being equal, same players, absolutely everything being the same, except their staff, game prepping, making changes at halftime, what would our record be under Frost? The last.
Oh, but
4
they don't
years.
get Ryan Day. They just get the assistants.
Well, no, you would get all of Ohio State.
So you get Ryan Day as head coach.
So it's Ryan Day and company.
Oh, they'd be
and company.
I mean,
yes.
I mean, they
bowls every year.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's such a hard question to answer.
They
but
wouldn't be a national champion. Thanks for the call, Devin. I don't think they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be a. I don't know if they would be a playoff team.
No, but they'd be a contender in the West every year.
Yeah, they would have probably won a couple of divisions.
Well, and look,
or at least one.
They'd recruit better too because they recruit.
Well,
really
yeah,
well.
that's the other thing.
They recruit really well too. Adam says Michigan State has a good staff. That was the other one that I thought of.
That's another one.
But yeah, I mean, so I guess is the point to say that the staff isn't very good or.
Well, hadn't been. Yeah. But again, it's hard. Right now, the grade on Nebraska is incomplete.
Yeah, I mean,
because we haven't seen this group work together but for 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up next, some unsportsmanlike content. Included in said content today. Oh, look, Live Golf is back.
No, it's
and
football
so
season.
too is Boomer.
Esiason?
Sooner?
Different Boomer.
Okay.
Neil?
Oh, my God. You'll find out next.
Okay.
On 1620 The Zone. And, with Labor Day coming up this weekend, it's a reminder that summer is done, folks. Which means, yes, Josh is already girding himself for the cold of winter and making sure that furnace is working. And if you are a gas furnace owner, my friends, you need to have that gas furnace inspected every single year because carbon monoxide is a killer. Well, when you join the Comfort Club at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, you don't have to worry about scheduling any appointments because they're going to be scheduled for you. A twice annual inspection from their professionally trained, certified, and drug-tested technicians. Also, you get discounts on repairs. You get moved to the front of the line when things get busy, and you always win with the You Win guarantee. So stay safe and join the Comfort Club at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, McCarthy's1hour.com. And it's just a monthly fee that never changes for the lifetime of your membership. Remember the folks at McCarthy's, always on time or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours, Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, only on 1620 The Zone.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
Come here. I got a secret weapon that'll make your family happy. Real happy. It's my new caramel toffee cookie combo. My big chocolate chip cookie covered with caramel and toffee bits. Add any medium specialty pizza piled high with the best toppings and loads of mozzarella on top. Plus any medium one-topping pizza. Caramel toffee cookie combo. Order now. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
FanDuel's got a message for all of you. They want you to be ready for the start of the college football season. And new customers with FanDuel, you're going to get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week 1. All you have to do, place a $5 bet. Damon, and you get $150 in free bets, win or lose.
Yep, you heard him. He said guaranteed win or lose. That's what FanDuel does for you. There's a reason they're America's #1 sportsbook app. It's easy to use. It's super safe. It's secure, and a ton of quick payouts. That's if you're winning, like my man, Mr. Sharp. That's what he does. Remember, get the app downloaded by entering the promo code ZONE. It's really easy. ZONE. That's zone.
And take a look at a national championship future for Utah? Yeah, download the app, and you'll see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just use the promo code ZONE, and you'll be a big, big winner. 21 over, present Iowa. First online running real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site. Credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Bill Jones.
And Olivia.
Here again for Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe. Jones Bros is famous here at Omaha for catering delicious breakfasts and lunches for business meetings.
If I own a business, I cater Jones Bros every day.
Sounds good to me, Olivia.
For breakfast, I cater French toast with warm syrup and croissant donuts. That'd be a good day at work.
Go with it, Olivia. Check out our website at jonesbroscupcakes.com for catering.
Jones Bros Cupcakes in Exarban Village.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
Can't wait till I get my microphone button back.
Oh, it's gonna be nice. I've been hitting it the last few segments. He just wants it though, Nick.
I just like my button. I like control. I must have control.
Let me control. Trust me, John. Trust me.
Dear God.
With your button and your life. It's been a minute since we've talked about the hottest topic of the summer, live golf.
Live golf!
Live golf! Live, laugh, golf. Today it was announced that world #2 ranked golfer and British Open champ Cameron Smith
Open Championship
is playing the live event in Boston this weekend. Didn't someone tell Cam about the blood money or the cool new virtual golf club Tiger and Rory are starting?
Yeah.
What about the virtual golf?
Think about the advantages of virtual golf. You don't have to walk.
Oh, that's huge.
You don't have to deal with idiot patrons who want to take selfies with you.
Idiot patrons.
You can customize your little dudes, make them look cool. You could be a dragon.
Yeah, you can actually make yourself look like an athlete.
Is this true? Can you be a dragon?
I mean,
Sure,
why not? It's a virtual space. Does it matter?
Yes, it does. That's not how it works, Nick.
Why not? Why can't I be a dragon?
Because it's PGA golf virtual. It's not Nick's, happy fun time watching airplanes.
I know this is a game changer because I will be dialing up my favorite Facebook.com feed to watch some live golf this Saturday from Boston.
Man,
Boston.
I've been wrong about very few things in life. I'm usually spot on about everything, but I was way wrong about Live Golf. I thought it was just going to.
Oh, you're a big fan now.
No.
Big Live
Loving
guy.
the blood
No.
money.
I thought it was going to sputter and no one was going to care. Meanwhile, they just keep
They
taking
have
really good
so
golfers.
much money. They have billions of dollars.
Billions and billions. I was wrong. Guys, I was wrong about this. And this alone for now.
I need you to clean up a lot of things here. That's what Bill Belichick said last week after the final Patriots game of the preseason. We're all giddy about them potentially missing the playoffs this year. Any chance they fall behind my former favorite team, the Miami, we pay our coaches to lose and we're very problematic Dolphins. People forget I'm a Broncos boy now.
You're
because
a
of
Dolphins
Sir
fan.
Louis.
You still have the hat.
Sir Louis.
Have you bought a Broncos hat? No, you have not.
Not yet.
There is a chance. I think the Patriots are going to be kind of doo-doo this year, John. Like a messy diaper from one of your children 20 years ago.
Mac Jones
Or Mr. Banks.
not doing so well in the
Doesn't wear
preseason,
diapers.
and people scared about that. Yeah, it's very possible they could be the third wheel in that division, behind Buffalo overrated and Miami.
Are you going to do this bit all year?
I am until the point spread corrects itself and the rightful team is favored next Thursday.
What if Buffalo wins next Thursday? Well, then
Yeah, and what if we go back in time and Scott Frost decides not to kick the onside?
They still probably would have lost.
We got to go back to the future.
We have to go back.
Got to go back.
Did you say yes? Are we in agreement on this question?
Yeah, I
then?
think we are.
Good. Down with New England.
I've been saying that for a long
Speaking of Belichick, check out his reaction when Chris Berman enters the room at a press conference.
Boomer. Haven't been to one of these in a couple of years. You're graced. You're graced. You're looking good. Goal is good. Forward, right?
And you thought Bill hated the media.
That was so cool.
Bill Belichick smiling and applauding.
Yeah.
He was Jack Buck. Pardon me while I stand and applaud.
Like, it was cool. Did you see the rest of the video where he ended up asking him? He was like, hey, do you have the first question? And so he was like, me? He goes, yeah. And so
And
he's
then
like,
Boomer went into this long diatribe and he's got a mumbled.
and then he loses his breath.
And then no one circles the wagons like a buffalo bill.
No, you know what he did, though? He goes, are you still having fun? Like, that was the question. Fun. Yeah, shopping. I thought it was cool, though.
Oh, it is cool. It's very cool. It's good. It's good to see Belichick,
smile,
acting human.
Put a smile on.
And, it's still Chris Berman.
Is he still anti-days off?
Who?
Belichick?
No days. Oh, yeah. He hates days off. Oof. No days off, Nick. No days off.
Speaking of quotes, here's another spicy one from the NFL. We talk just in passing. He's not really around or practices or meetings or anything like that. That was one Trey Lance on Jimmy GQ. Nice job reworking that contract for the invisible man, eh, Robbie?
Now, granted, like a holdout. It's not like Jimmy G needs to learn anything too new because he has been in the organization for a while. But just the fact the man was working out by himself off in the corner while the rest of the team was doing team things. The only reason he was there was because he was still under contract and the 49ers were trying to shop him. They couldn't get anybody.
Shop him.
They couldn't get anybody to bite, especially on that big contract.
Bite him.
And now all of a sudden they're going to turn to him and say, oh, that's all right. Come on back and you can be the backup for Trey Lance. This is just brilliant strategy all
Again,
around.
John, I'll remind you, much like the 49ers of the early 90s, a backup quarterback that went to the Super Bowl is a rarity. Remember, Joe Montana was the backup to Steve Young. People forget about it. Nick forgot. Steve Young. I bet you made fun of that. Yeah, you're going to bench Montana for
Lance
Young.
and Garoppolo, Montana and Young. Yeah, I see the comparisons.
I mean,
they're both successful exchangers of oxygen and carbon dioxide.
I would say that Jimmy's a little more handsome than Joe Montana. A little more handsome. Better chins.
A little more chiseled.
I didn't watch it, but apparently Jimmy G didn't look or Trey Lance didn't look very good against the Texans.
Oh, no, I'm shocked.
Did you hear about that?
I can't believe that.
On Thursday Night Football on Prime. Did you watch any of that on Amazon Prime?
Well, we had a little bit of it on here in the studio.
No, did you watch it on Thursday?
No.
No. Okay.
Albert Pujols hit his 694th homer last night, doing so off his 450th career pitcher. You two didn't really think he could get to 700 the night that last time we discussed him. Changing your tune.
Kind of. There's still so many games left. And
There's a month left in the season.
yeah, it's the last month of the season. I think he's going to pass A-Rod, which will be good for all parties. So, yeah, Theron makes it sound like baseball really wants that to happen.
Well, some fans really want it to happen.
I thought he meant like the sport of baseball.
Well,
like
I mean,
Major League Baseball.
people have followed, but I agree with Farron. I mean, 700. Listen,
cool.
I can't stand the Cardinals, and Albert Pujols has been like the lead devil, but I'm rooting for him to get to 700.
Nice.
Because he's played the game the right way, and you know, it'd be kind of cool to see someone hit that milestone who you have pretty good indication wasn't doing anything illegal, except being a Cardinal.
Big Cardinal guy, John
kind
Bishop.
of a mortal sin.
According to the Wall Street Journal, NBC has had early talks about turning the 10 p.m. ET hour.
How about the 9 o'clock Central hour? Why can't we use English? Not
Because I just copied and pasted from the article.
Lazy.
Back over to affiliates. Nothing's decided yet, as the matter hasn't come up for formal discussion with its affiliate board. Is this the beginning of the end of network television as we know it? What a TV nerd question.
So,
hell yeah, Nick. By the way, Happer, speaking of TV, he's watching Seinfeld right now. He's watching the contest.
That's right. Tomorrow in the crossover, we are all
hate
reviewing Seinfeld, the classic episode, the contest.
Classic. We're going to
because
laugh.
we are challenging Nick to give it a fair shake.
But he says, like, see, he keeps saying he's going to give it a fair shake, and then he just says, I'm going to hate this.
You can hate something and still do
The
it
thumb
anyway.
is on the scale. Justice is not blind in this situation.
Yeah.
Again, I've watched episodes of South Park, Seinfeld before, and it just didn't do anything.
Let
for
us
me.
answer this question, please, Nick.
Okay.
Now, this, Fox, when Fox came online in the late 80s, this is what they did.
This
and
is how they still
and
are.
still do today. A lot of that was because they were trying to get on a lot of independent television stations who, of course, had all the advertising to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they made their money. And so when you take on a network affiliation, you lose opportunities to sell things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that 9 o'clock hour, that's a chance for local news to start earlier. Maybe get better ad rates.
Well, apparently
for the
they're
late night newscast.
They're thinking about maybe moving like Jimmy Fallon up into that hour. Remember when Jay Leno's show, after they kicked him off the Tonight Show, but he still wanted to do, and he did his show. Look, is network TV done? No, because they still have sports, and as long as they have sports, they're going to be okay. Is network scripted TV on its way out? I think so. Because that's not where. If I want to watch a good TV show. And I think you and I are in the same boat. I think Nick's not because he doesn't like Seinfeld. You know what we don't do? We don't go to network TV.
The last network TV show that I regularly watched was the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which lasted for one season on Fox.
Now, I watched one more recently than that. I watched The Good Place, and that ended right before COVID in 2020.
I watched Superstore.
You watch Superstore. Yeah. But so, for the most part, I definitely don't watch TV dramas on network TV. I haven't done that in years. So, that era, I think, is done. It's done. It's probably going to get more Seinfeld reruns on WWT.
No, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The Hollywood Reporter says Chris Rock has turned down an invite to host next year's Oscars. Should he have done the show? Is the Academy being silly for asking after what happened last March?
Not being silly, I think you have to ask the question, right? Just because what if he says yes? Should he have done it? I mean, I would have liked him to, but I understand. He doesn't really seem to, at least publicly, he doesn't talk about this. I think he mentions it in his stand-up acts, but I haven't seen anything nationally. So he probably made the right move.
The Academy for sure wanted him back because if for anything else, it would goose the ratings at the beginning to see what he would do and how he would address it.
I would watch that. Yeah.
But so that from that standpoint, I'm glad he told him to go stick it. Because that's what they get for not having proper security there. I mean, even in the WWE, they got the rails there between the crowd and the ring. Where the hell was that?
Where were the rails?
At least if the railing had been there, maybe there would have been hope.
Maybe.
You know what I would have done if I was Chris Rock? I would have come in. I would have done the show in Hell in a Cell. I would have. You ain't getting in here.
By the way, Matt has followed up. We mentioned earlier when we were talking about Seinfeld, the episode before is called The Virgin, which is another classic.
Another great episode.
He says he almost needs to watch the episode before as well so he understands where where the virgin came from. Should Nick have to do a doubleheader? Should he have to watch both episodes back
No,
to
because I
back?
think, again,
Okay.
I mean,
Didn't you just tell me I could drop? That's the good part about Seinfeld. You can just drop in and
then
drop
you were
out
bitching
wherever.
about that. So I'm giving,
you were.
bad at arguing.
You
there,
need to
Nick.
pick a lane. Which
Think
which
you doth
type of
protest
show
a bit
is
too much?
Seinfeld?
A funny one.
You'll like it. My prediction is you'll
Because the
grudgingly
contest is
like
a classic.
It is a classic, and it's well written, and it's
Seriously,
it's
if you
just
don't
funny.
think this is funny, Nick, then I mean, I just have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I think other things are funny. I know things that I know.
I mean,
that are
here I
funny.
thought we got rid of the humorless person when Severe left.
No, he's back on Sundays.
Oh,
Severe
see, now
reaction.
he's back.
Every Sunday
morning,
from 8 to 10.
8 to 10. He gives his takes and he takes your phone calls.
Available wherever you get your podcast.
Still AM radio.
Well, speaking of things Michael used to do, the bet of the day
Ha!
is next on 1620 The Zone.
Email Sharp and Benning on Equitable Bank inbox with your love, your hate, whatever your hot takes are. We're here for you. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Kirsten Bernthal Booth with Creighton Volleyball here. The 2022 season has arrived, and we need you in the stands as we look to defend our Big East title. Our 15-match home schedule is one of our best ever. In addition to our tough Big East slate, we are also hosting some of the top teams in the country, including Kentucky, USC, and Nebraska. Don't miss any of the action this season and get your tickets online now at gocreighton.com/buy. Go Jays!
As a family consumer science teacher in Lincoln, Mindy Diller sees the benefits of a diverse public education system for all students.
Anybody can go to a public school and it's going to prepare them for working life, college life, post-college life. Public schools provide all of that.
Mindy attended public school in Fairbury, Nebraska, where her teachers inspired her to become an educator. Public education made a difference for Mindy, and that makes her
Public school proud.
See more of Mindy's story and tell us what makes you public school proud at nsea.org/proud.
The Omaha Farmers Market is open every Saturday in the Old Market from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and every Sunday in Exarban Village from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. May 7th through October 16th, enjoy the bountiful season of locally grown and handmade goods. Get the city's best selection of fresh produce, herbs, meat, and more. To keep up with what's in season, visit omahafarmersmarket.org and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Presented by University of Nebraska Omaha Methodist Health System and KETV Channel 7.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit. Because shed happens.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and included 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
That guy. Oh,
yeah.
man.
It's on 1620. The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
Yesterday, two of us lost, one of us won. John was the winner because the Cubs lost by only one run.
They should have won the damn game outright.
Did they blow it? Did they
That's why I took the line.
Nick had the Cubs in a parlay, so he lost, and the Guardians screwed me. So thanks a lot, Guardians.
Mr. 3000.
I'm going to go with another baseball parlay. Give me the Blue Jays, 2 words, and the Braves, minus 119.
I will take the Brew Crew and the Yankees to bounce back tonight against the losers. I'm sorry, the Angels, plus 149.
I get it.
Mets, Mariners, Braves, plus 329.
Bet of the day.
Omaha, Iowa.
Got a tweet that I want to read real fast before
tweet.
the show comes to an end. Yeah, we have time. So let's see. This was from Mr. Nielsen, not our coworker, not him. He says Nebraska should go back to not scheduling a conference game first. Start with a non-con, and then move forward. I've seen this complaint a lot. Nebraska, they're getting screwed again. Now,
they picked it themselves.
They did well, and that's why he says to stop it. Now, they decided to go to Ireland 2 times in a row. Of course, we know one of them didn't happen.
Right.
The other times that they have opened with a Power 5 team or a conference team, it was not supposed to happen. Colorado in 18, and then obviously Ohio State in 2020. That said, in 2020, they were supposed to open up with Purdue, if I remember right.
Yes.
And next year, they will open up with a conference game again.
Mm-hmm.
The non-conference schedule is as such: Colorado in Boulder, Northern Illinois, and then La Tech. But those games are September 9th, 16th, and 23rd. So the week 1 game right now is left open, which we remember all the Big Ten schedules.
Well, originally it was going to be Minnesota.
Yeah, so we'll see what that is.
And then the conferences took down all the schedules because of TV.
So
that's probably going to be against US. No.
So again, it will be a conference game again. So a talking point for next summer to remember.
I don't give a damn who you play. Just
don't onside kick it. Watch the contest tonight, everybody. It's on Netflix.
Tomorrow we preview North Dakota. We're on to North Dakota. Shafe, Dumb Debates. See you then.
Bye.